Running hard? Make sure you recover harder. MyoFitness, trusted by elites like Genevieve Gregson, Ryan Gregson, Peter Bowl, and many AFL stars, offers sports massage and myotherapy to keep you moving at your best. Don't wait for an injury. Make recovery part of your training. Click the link in the Inside Running podcast bio, and there is a special discount for listeners. MyoFitness is located in North Melbourne and Yarraville, Victoria. Book now at myofitness.com.au.
Welcome to episode number 386 of the Inside Running podcast. Thank you for being with us for another week. Big show coming at you this week. Big news story is the World Indoor Champs. We're Australia. We picked up a couple of medals, so looking forward to talking about that one. We've got some New South Wales running news, some New Zealand running news, some whispers, some moose on the loosen to do. Great listener question, and we're going to preview the big meet that's coming this weekend, the Maurie Plant meet in Melbourne. Welcome, my co-host. He's down in Anglesea. He ran the 2019 World Championships in Doha, the marathon there, the only men's marathoner we had representing Australia. Julian Spence, how are you this week?
Good, mate. Good. Back on board. Missing our friend. He's having his first day off in a very long time. He thinks he's earned some annual leave, I reckon.
Well, we always want him to take a week off. He complains he never gets a week off. And then yesterday we got a message saying, boys, I'm out. I'm going to need the week off the show. I messaged you instantly thinking this is something extremely bad because the only other time he's missed an episode is when he had a heart attack. But camping sorted him out. He's got some dirt under the fingernails and it's written him off for the week.
He hasn't put the time in very often where he has to actually like you said, get the hands dirty and he doesn't. I reckon he sleeps in pretty late every day and he's in bed very early. So, yeah, camping just wore the old fella out.
And that was our response last week when he said he was going camping. We were both shocked. Like, you camping? So It's all about, but we can fill his shoes. We've got a very, very big name helping us out with this week's show. She's filled in before. She's the Australian half marathon record holder. Got some of the best range ever when we talk about female distance runners in Australia, from her 3K PB through to her marathon PB. Izzi Batt-Doyle, recently off the Nagoya Marathon. Welcome back to the Inside Running podcast. Thanks for helping us out.
Thanks, Brady. Thanks, Moose. Good to be back on. Always love coming on for a chat.
Yes. We love having you for a chat as well. We know the listeners love hearing your opinions and stuff as well. And a couple of news items this week I'm looking forward to hearing your opinions on, especially when we start talking about that women's, was it the 3K World Indoors? Shelby Houlihan getting the silver. That's gonna be quite a decent conversation, I feel.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting watching. Yeah, I really loved watching all the indoor races, but it affected my sleep schedule a bit the last few nights, just staying up and watching all the races and then just buzzing last night, watching those 1500s. It was like I wasn't asleep till after 12, so made for a later start this morning, but yeah, really good viewing.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it still was just like 2 hours in the wrong direction, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's not one you have to like stay up for like 1 a.m. in the morning, like a lot of them are, but it was just a little touch too late that you just felt like it was starting just when you wanted to go to bed.
Yeah. Hey, how's the bot? Oh, you go,
sorry,
Moose.
we're talking like 10, 15 p.m. 90% of the country is still awake at 10:15 p.m. on a Saturday night.
Adelaide last night, like I was watching the 800 finals, and it was like 11:30, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go to bed. Not a good start to race week, but
I'll pay that. I'll pay 11:30, but I thought 10:30 was just spot on. Right before bed.
No way, Moose.
Yeah.
Our listeners...
I think it was because I was like, especially Saturday night after we'll get to it, but like the 2 bronzes, I was just buzzing. Like I kind of like went to bed and was just like, couldn't really sleep.
Majority of our listeners are in bed by 10 p.m, Moose, because they're up early. They're hard workers, blue collar. They're 5 a.m. alarm kind of people.
I don't know about that. That's a good poll. Let's put that up lately. 10 p.m. Saturday night, in bed or not?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not. So
Well, they're smacking long runs on Sunday mornings, especially throughout summer. They're up at 4:35 a.m.
Yeah,
Want to
but
slab on it?
oh
The
no,
under over.
no, I don't
This is the
actually.
second last beer that you gave me last time too. I'm nearly out. I
Yeah,
need
that was false beers from you. You trolled me for those.
Gotcha. Hey, Izzy, how's the body? What are we talking? 2 weeks after Nagoya yesterday.
yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 weeks, but yeah, I've recovered really well, and yeah, we'll get to it in the training week, I guess. But this has been the best I've recovered from a marathon, and actually, I've recovered better than I have after some half marathons. So I'm feeling really strong, and I've gotten to this week now, and actually sort of excited to race. Whereas when I had planned to do the 3K after the marathon, it was a bit of a oh yeah, we'll see how we go. Like that could sort of like not end well, or I might not get to the start line. But I'm actually, here now, 2 weeks after the marathon, going into like a race week on the track. Feeling recovered and feeling excited.
Did you have you changed at all like your thoughts about the race since the race? Like tell us about initial feelings when you crossed the line in 2:23:29, and then maybe like how you're feeling about it now. And the sixth spot, I guess that's worth mentioning, like such a loaded race, Nagoya Marathon, some big money up for grabs, and to be sixth there, is that your highest finish in an international marathon?
Yeah, it would have been. I was 10th and then 8th at Valencia 2 years in a row. And I think I was 10th at Nagoya 2 years ago. So, yeah, my highest finish. And I think it's an interesting one because initially when I first crossed the finish line, I was almost a little surprised that I'd actually run sort of so fast because I felt like I was struggling so much in parts of the race and really battling mentally out there, with a lot of it running solo. So initially I was kind of like, oh, 2:23:30 like that's pretty good, but of course I was disappointed with that time, but I'd sort of already come to the acceptance in the race that I wasn't going to run a national record or in the 2:20s or anything crazy. So it was kind of a bit of a mixed bag. But I think initially when I crossed the finish line, I kind of finished the race. I was disappointed that I'd had another race that's sort of so close to that range that I want to be in, but I'm just not really able to pull out a really great day. And I would say since then, my opinion on it has changed quite a bit in the sense that sort of even by the next day, I think I came to the realization that it probably actually was my best marathon ever if I considered all factors around the whole race and how I felt and how I felt and, how mentally I got through it and all different things. So I've actually come away from it really feeling quite positive about the whole experience and what it shows for my progression in the marathon. And, it's so hard in the marathon to be consistent. And I think, I really have managed to get that consistency right in those last three marathons I've done. And I'm just hopeful that, and I'm not just hopeful, I believe that eventually that will come with a breakthrough, in a time that I think I can run. So, it has changed a bit to answer your question from the start.
Sound like you're learning a lot out there just based on that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think even like going into Valencia last year, I sort of didn't realize that, there's still so much I need to learn. And having a whole year off the marathon last year, I got to Valencia being like, oh yeah, like when do I take bottles? Like how, like what should I do at this stage? Like, yeah, when do I have a gel again? And so I'm really just getting that now, feeling comfortable. And I really had my best kind of fueling strategy, didn't have any like issues there. A lot of things went really well. So I can definitely walk away from that feeling like I've learned a lot and can take that on into the next one.
Izzy, it's pretty rare that the split from, 25 to 30K is slower than then 30 to 35 and then 35 to 40. Like it felt like, when I saw the 25 to 30K split of 17:24, I was like, shit, things can really go pear-shaped from here if that's happening at that stage of the race. But like, what was going through your head and how did you turn it back around to finish as strong as you did?
Yeah, you're not the only one. I think Riley said that he kind of was messaging people and he was like, yeah, like not Izzy's day, like obviously not having a good one. And then he was kind of like felt bad when I sort of ran so well because he was like, oh, it actually wasn't a bad day. It was 30 seconds off her best. But I am proud of that. And I think that kind of probably shows the sort of runner that I am, with that 10K and 5K speed and strength, being able to pull it back together. I think what happened really in the race was I had no other option as to go 220 pack with the lead group or go for a time slower than my personal best and maybe not even, the world champs qualifying time. And knowing that this race is always really fast through the halfway split because that's just the Japanese way. And then everyone always progressively gets slower and the groups break up. So if you go with, X group, you're going to run sort of like 2 minutes slower is sort of naturally what happens in this race from what we've seen before. And I know that from having done it before and pacing it and speaking to Camille and a lot of the girls who've done it before and seeing, how it plays out. And I fell off the group a bit sooner than I'd like to have. I really actually just couldn't. I felt like I kept getting gapped. And by about 15K, I was just a few meters back and feeling quite uncomfortable, like I was straining to try and be on it. And I just made the decision to run my own race and not be straining at 15, 16Ks into the marathon. So that was a decision to let the group go, and I think a necessary one because I just wasn't feeling like I could stay on. And yeah, the marathon always gets hard in that middle section, especially in this race. I was just so low, really I had a Japanese girl that I kind of went a little bit, we kind of ran with each other a little bit for a few Ks until 21. And then like after that time, I didn't see anyone else apart from when Natasha Rogers went past me. And then I ended up passing her again later and passing another Japanese runner. But I just really struggled in that middle section. And it is a tough course in the sense of the first half, you do have sort of all the longer downhill sections and a bit more easier running. But then once you have kind of hit halfway, most of the elevation in the course comes sort of from 30Ks. So I actually think I got faster after 30Ks, like you said. But I think just in that middle section, it was quite windy. I was on my own. I was kind of like mentally just like struggling a bit. And at the turnaround around 30K, I kind of saw that, some of the girls, including Leanne, were pretty close to me. And that really, I was like, okay, Izzi, come on, like, 12K to go, like, you're fine. And I kind of found like a second gear, I guess, in that last 10K to keep pushing on. And always that belief, I think that something I am quite good at is that even if your sort of a goal is gone, like what can you salvage? Okay, maybe Oz record isn't going to happen. You're not going to be top 3, but like, can you salvage a PB? Can you salvage how high can you finish up in the race? So that was what was going through my head then.
Why Nagoya? Given it's women's only, you're going to get like big lonely patches out there. There's a bit of elevation late. It just doesn't seem like the fastest place to go and chase Aussie records.
Oh, definitely. And like, I don't think the intention ever was chasing the Aussie record in this race. Like that's just kind of what comes when you're running well, I guess. And, after the half marathon record, people start to think, and, of course I start to think maybe it's possible even on like not the perfect course, not the perfect day. Maybe I'm, in shape that if I feel good, like and I get a pack, it does work out, and you kind of want to hope that that's possible. But really for me, Nagoya was a pretty simple choice because I kind of got presented with London or Nagoya from Nick after Valencia. And I initially wanted to do London because it's a world major. I'd done Nagoya before. But then when I actually looked at the dates, I realized I couldn't do National 5K or really any of the track stuff domestically. And that's still on my radar for this year and for World Champs as a possibility. So I just didn't want to rule that out completely. And I think that not doing any of the track racing domestically, I'm not sure of the actual logistics of it all, but I'm pretty sure you have to do nationals or you have to do one domestic race to sort of be like in the conversation, unless you're like, maybe there's an exception, but I understand that's sort of like the rules. So I was kind of like, no, I'm not ready to give the track away this year. I want to keep that open. So, and after Valencia, I think I was like, I want to do another marathon because I don't want to wait a whole nother year to do a marathon and almost like forget everything I've learned now. So, I was kind of keen to do another one. I was like, yeah, Nagoya's like, I had a tough experience 2 years ago, but I'm way better athlete now. Like maybe I'll be ready to run, with the front group and actually be competitive. And that was the thinking. And then like, I'm not going to lie, after I'd committed, I decided to do that. Like I got paid a lot more money to do that than I would for doing London or something else. So as someone who's like making, an income out of running, that's definitely a draw card too, and something that we have to consider and I think should be spoken about too. But yeah, that wasn't actually the initial reason I did it, but it was a nice, I guess, part of it too.
The Australian record chat, Izzy, like we talk about it all the time because it's kind of our job to build hype and speculate and predict things. And we're living in this golden age where every week it feels like at least one Australian record goes down. Like, and I think you're worthy to be in that conversation. Like, you've got the speed over the shorter distances. You've just run 67 for a half marathon. You're someone who's proven that you can handle the mileage. Does it get to you though, the fact that every time you race now, it's almost I wouldn't say an expectation, but it's a target that a lot of people think you can hit?
Yeah, I think that potentially last year, there was a bit of chat about it before Valencia, and I sort of like bought into it a little bit more than maybe I should have. And I think you have to respect like Sinead's 221 is a really good record. Like it's a really hard record, and that's why it's why it's a record, right? Like she worked really hard to get it. I know she had like a number of attempts where she was trying to get it, and Benita had it for a long time before that. Yeah, of course it does add a bit of, I guess, pressure to when you line up. But I have to say, I didn't really feel that way for Nagoya. I felt like it was a bit more of a just go and compete and see what happens. And of course, yeah, it's always the chat. And I think that that's really, it's nice having that chat because I love that I'm in the conversation where people think that, I do have the potential to break these records and to run really well. And I think what we're seeing from, World Indoors on the weekend, and as you said, every weekend that we've had pretty much the last couple of weeks and last couple of months, the Australian athletes are really elevating and showing that we can be competitive on a world level. So yeah, it's great to be having those conversations.
Some of it's low-hanging fruit, though. Does it annoy you? You're like, shit, this marathon record I'm trying to get's way harder than some of these indoor records that have just become a thing, I feel, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, of course. And I think that most people like in the sport do appreciate like what are kind of like, the big achievement records and some that maybe just people haven't run as much. And like I'm sure Georgia is really happy with her fourth place in her run, but she's probably not like, oh yeah, like area record because she's run faster, outdoors in the 1500 and she knows that she can run a lot faster than four flat. But of course, it's a great achievement. But I don't think that she's necessarily celebrating that record, so to speak. She's celebrating fourth. So yeah, it's just different, I guess, when there's a lot of different achievements going on. But I think we should celebrate them all because why not?
Yeah, well, we move on so quick. Like, we've hardly even spoken about your half marathon record, which was phenomenal. Like 67:17, faster than Moose, by the way, I think. So congratulations on that.
No way.
Yeah, I think his first half, his marathon may have been similar to that split, but officially it's maybe a 67:40 guy, Moose. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's a little off you, Izzy. It's a few seconds off, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you must have been stoked crossing the line in that time at Maragami, sorry.
Yeah, I was really stoked, and I think that you're right, Brady. Like I struggle with this, and I have in my whole career not celebrating probably as much as I should, and moving on too quickly. And I think that a lot of us do it, and it is a bit of human nature, and probably why we are high achievers is because we're like, yeah, that's great, but like, what's the next thing? But yeah, that really does stand out as sort of a career highlight for me, and I was really happy to get that record. I didn't line up with the intention of running that time or getting that record. It was in the back of my mind, but it felt really out of reach just to even consider that time. And I still can't even fathom, like I do sessions now and I'm like, I ran a half marathon at 3:11 pace. Like I can't even do a 1K right now. So yeah, I think that that was pretty special and I'm really proud of that one. I think that will probably stick around as a career highlight for my whole career.
Yeah. Any more questions, Moose, before we get into a weekly recap?
Well, you mentioned moving on quickly. How do you come about doing a 3K 3 weeks after a marathon? Because it's a pretty sharp turnaround, and it wouldn't generally be the norm.
Yeah, I guess like sort of Nick and how he operates, and he's sort of always up for, I guess, like not pushing it, but doing as much as he can and testing what's possible, and taking the opportunities that come to you. And I'm someone that I love the sport. I love running. I want to be involved, and like I said, I think he said to me, I actually remember I did a track session and I went a lot better than I expected, a grass track session a couple of weeks ago. It was before Nagoya. And I said to him, like, these were splits, felt really strong, like looking forward to doing some track later in the season. And he said, good, you are in Maury Plant 3K. And I was just like, oh shit. But I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'll deal with that after the marathon. Like, and Riley and I kind of said, like, yeah, if I take a week off and like, I don't feel like doing it, I won't do it. I didn't book flights. I didn't plan anything until afterwards. But then I was like, I actually pulled up really well. And then I was like, yeah, I'm excited to do it. And I think like Maury Plant is going to be an epic meet. We've got Gow doing the 200. We've got like heaps of people coming over for it. You know, a lot of Aussies coming back who live overseas, all the Aussies who live in Australia coming out for it. Like, it's going to be a really fun night. To be honest, I don't want to be on the couch here in Adelaide watching it. I want to be up amongst it. So if my way to do that is to, you know, head over there and run a 3K, then yeah, I'll do that. And I think I have to just like take the ego out of it and be like, how cool is this? I'm running at like this really cool meet in Melbourne. I may be able to pull it off and run a PB if it's like a fast race and I can kind of just like hang on and feel good. And I may get my doors blown off and struggle to run 9 minutes, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, you get to be in the arena.
Exactly.
And you never know when your last time in the arena is too.
Yeah.
So you got to make the most. Not that you're going to be retired next week, but
like
yeah.
I pretty much I've done one 3K last year. I think I've done one 3K every year for the last 3 or 4 years, but I don't do them very often. No one probably expects me to run that well, so the pressure's not on me. I'm just hoping it's, you know, a fast race, and I think it will be, looking at the fields that came out today.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end of the show. Hey, did you find the build-up for Nagoya different off the December marathon at Valencia? Like, when you look at it on a calendar, not a lot of time to what we traditionally see with 2 a year.
Yeah, no, it was definitely quite different, and that made for some challenges, like in the preparation, I guess, too, because I recovered fairly well from Valencia, but not like, I was struggling a little bit with my hamstring still at that stage, and you know, Christmas is like busy and there's just like a lot of stuff on. I had a really good month in Falls Creek doing sort of more like, I feel like more 10K 5K work with the 3 sessions a week, and obviously ran well at Maragami, but then it's like after Maragami I was cooked for a week, like really struggled that week. Then I had 200 plus K weeks, and then it was like then I was starting my taper the next week. So it did come around really quickly, and I only got 3 marathon sessions in. So I kind of was like wishing I had like 2 or 3 more weeks just to sort of like feel ready for the marathon. Even though I knew I was really fit, I just felt like I just wanted a few more marathon sessions. But it's just a different build, and that's what's interesting about them all.
Is that why you still did the big one like 8 days, 9 days out? We were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. Like a bit of a last minute cram.
I did hear you guys speak about that. It made me ponder it a little bit too. But yeah, so I had that 9 days out. It was a adapted version of the normal session that I'd done before. Like actually I'd done like 3 weeks out, I think, from Valencia last time, and even 4 weeks out the time before. And yeah, but it really wasn't that adapted. Like, it was, instead of 8K threshold, it was 6. Instead of 5K hard, it was 4. But it was still 35Ks all up. But I did it really controlled. Like, I didn't do the last 4K hard. I just did it like threshold, and it was 318s. Whereas I might normally sort of whack that one and do like more like 313 pace or something. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's still 35Ks, still like almost 2 hours 20 of running. And where do you recover from that is a question. Not sure.
I will never know. You still run.
Never know. I mean, I felt good, like, in, you know, that race week and stuff, and it still was like a dip down in training that week, but I think just because it was a shorter block and not as much sort of like marathon sessions in there, we were kind of going right till the week before.
What about the old, like, Izzi runs 200K weeks? Like, you might do 6 of them for the whole calendar year, but you're just you're known as the person.
I know.
Coach says the same with me. It's like, oh, Brady, you run 200K weeks. I'm like, I do 3 of them a year, but you get this reputation of like overtraining and doing 200K weeks.
People do say it a lot, like, oh, 200K weeks. I'm like, I literally did 2.
Yeah.
Like, I did 2. I did,
I'm with you.
maybe I did 3 in January between 180 and 192, maybe.
Yeah.
Which is close, I guess, but yeah, it's not like I'm doing it all year round.
Yeah. Moose, can we hear a trainer week now?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Take
us
interesting
one.
This is from what, 2 weeks post race? No, 1 week post race to
1
2
week.
weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Did you come straight home from Japan?
Yeah, I flew back on the Monday, and I was very lucky that I got an upgrade to business class, my first one ever. And so, yeah, I actually slept pretty well, and I recovered maybe a bit better than I would have normally. Just having the legs flat was nice.
Request the upgrade and like it went through, or you actually just got up to the ticket counter and they're
No,
like, "Yeah,
like,
you're in."
I always do it on like the Qantas app, and I had a bunch of points, but I just haven't ever had it upgraded to business. And I got like a last minute one where it was like I was like in the lounge beforehand and got told, and I was like, oh, I'd already had a couple of champagnes, and I was like, woo, let me sleep.
Yeah, you would have. How good's the feeling when you're turning left?
I just didn't even know. Like, I didn't realize it was like so flat, and I'm quite short, so I still had like a meter until my feet touched the end, and I was just like, "This is amazing." And the lady came along and was like, "Oh, like, can you put your tray out for the thing?" And I was like, "I don't know. Where's the tray? This is my first time. You're gonna have to show me."
Oh, you're talking to a man that only flies business, Izzy.
That's not true at all. But you're gonna.
Don't you have 2 million Qantas points? You'll tell me.
Maybe when I'm Moose's age, I'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Or it'll be fun watching you go and fly to Europe economy next time.
I know.
It's
but
just
I will be, so.
You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have your own jet by then.
Yeah. Unfortunately not.
Your own jet. NordVPN has partnered with the Inside Running podcast to offer you an amazing discount. Head over to nordvpn.com/inside running to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 additional months on top of that. Think of NordVPN as your personal bodyguard for your online activity. It encrypts your internet safety, shielding your personal information from those prying eyes and online criminals with state-of-the-art encryption. It can help you book flights and hotels for your next race, as well as when you're over there, you can connect to NordVPN servers in your home country and safely enjoy the content as if you never left whenever you travel. It's perfect if you want to follow local Aussie sport. With NordVPN, you can access all your streaming services from back home. Don't forget, there is literally no risk to you with their 30-day money-back guarantee. Give it a try, and if you like it, great. If you don't, they'll issue a refund, and you can pretend the entire situation never even happened. Check out our link, www.nordvpn.com/inside running to get your subscription started today. You can also find the information in the episode description and our link in bio. All right, Monday.
Yes, so Monday. So I'm a week post race, 17th of March. That is. So just did 60 minutes in the morning. Pretty easy. 13.66 Ks, 426s. Just a nice loop in the parklands. Pretty flat running here in Adelaide normally. And then I got back in the gym. So I hadn't done gym, I think, for close to 3 weeks. I'd done it the Tuesday of my last week of training before the marathon. I didn't do a gym in the week of the marathon. So I sort of expected to be a little bit sore from this one, but I felt like I needed to get back in the gym because I know my hammies get a bit niggly now, that it just means that I got to put some load through them. So yeah, that was like an hour of gym. And then one thing I do after a marathon or, end of the track season is I just try and sub my double runs for elliptical. I just think the elliptical is a really good way to get the same heart rate, even actually higher, I find. Not less pounding on your legs, obviously, and just a different stimulus. I think it's a really good just change in stimulus for your training. And as much as these days, even this week, I'm wanting to go out for a second run, but I'm almost forcing myself to kind of look forward to my 1 run a day just to kind of protect that time, because I know in a couple of weeks' time when I'm back into full training and running twice a day, I'm not sort of bored by it then or cooked or mentally fatigued. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to do. So 30-minute elliptical, my heart rate average was 132. And then Tuesday morning, I did my first session since the marathon. So I'd done some strides on the Saturday, but I hadn't done anything that week. So I did a 20-minute warm-up. That was 4.46 Ks at 4:30s. And then I'm on the grass track here at the uni loop here in Adelaide. So it's a fairly nice grass track, but it's a bit soft, the grass sometimes, I found, this time of the year, and it's sort of gotten a little bit beaten up on the corner where there's just like there's no grass on one corner section. It's just like dirt. So you kind of like, do I go on the dirt? Do I go wide? Anyway, so this session, 9 days post marathon. It was 10 by 300, 100 jog, and then a lap jog, and then 10 by 200 off 30 seconds, just standing recovery. So the goal was that the 300s were in 54, and then just really easy jog 100, go again. And I did these in 54, 54, 54. Yeah, they were all 54 actually. All 54. Not going to read them all through. And the recovery 100 was sort of in about 40 seconds on average. And then, did a lap jog, and I had the 10 200s. And the 54s had felt really nice, actually. It felt like better than I expected. And then the 200s were supposed to be in just 35 seconds, and these were all 35 or 34 seconds. And so Riley actually rode the bike over because he's not really running at the moment, just struggling with some ongoing injuries. And he rode the bike over, and then he kind of took his shoes off and his shirt off, and it was a really nice hot morning, and he was sort of running barefoot, cheering me on. And then he started jumping in like the last 200 of my 300 and running kind of like on the inside of the grass next to me. And then by like the 200s, he was just doing every second 200, and he'd start like I'd start, and then 3 seconds later maybe he'd start, and by the end of the rep he was coming past me sprinting on the infield, just barefoot, just very random. Would have been a funny sight if someone was watching on. He pulled up pretty sore from that one, but
no kidding.
Pretty cute though. Cute thing to do.
I don't think he'd run out. He hadn't run apart from a couple of 15-minute treadmill runs for a few weeks, but he enjoyed that. I'm not sure his hamstrings did. So all in all, like I felt really good, and I was quite surprised. I was going to put my spikes on for the 200s if I felt like I needed to use them to get to that pace, but I just felt all right, and got through it, like ran all the splits that I was supposed to. And I think the purpose of this session, people can often be like, oh wow, that's quite a short or fast session reps to do after a marathon, but the whole intention is like you've done all this training at threshold or longer stuff, you're really fit. It's just about getting some sort of feel-good shorter intervals in. So that's why I think
no fatigue in your quads, calves, hammies from the marathon, like still hanging around?
No, honestly, Brady, it was really strange. The Tuesday before, I'd gone for a 30-minute run, my first run after the race, taken Monday off. I had DOMs, and then Wednesday I went for an hour run, and it was like Wednesday the DOMs were gone. And like Thursday I felt like I could have done a session.
That's pretty crazy.
What shoes did you wear at Nagoya?
Not the prototypes this time around. I just went back to the classic Metaspeed Edge 3.
That is a new prototype too, isn't there? ASICs?
So essentially I wore the prototype in Valencia, and then they've just updated that same prototype now, and Leanne wore that in the race. But I wasn't prepared to have another experience like I did previously, so I just thought I'm going to stick with what I know. Yeah. Andy ran 206 in it. It's a good shoe. I'll wait till the prototype becomes is sort of the final product, and then I'll give it some more airtime.
The whole of Bendigo's running around in that same shoe, telling themselves Andy ran 206 in it.
Exactly. It's a great shoe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
He reckons that new prototype's amazing though. He reckons he'll run 205 in it.
I haven't actually even put it on my foot yet. So I should do some strides or something in it. Going to an ASICS event in May where I'm sure I'll wear it for a 10K. So I'll put it on for some training soon.
Is that in Japan?
Yeah, it is back in Tokyo.
Jimmy Hanson's going as well, I reckon. He's running a 5K there.
Yeah, I think pretty much all the ASICS people from Australia.
Everyone from Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even Rhys Edwards?
I actually think I did see his name on the list.
Jeez.
Yeah. I did get a little sneaky list of the...
They really are sending everyone moose.
Yeah. Well, especially from Australia, like we are quite close, and it is just an ASICS only event. So they need 100 people or so to make it.
Kind of like that Paris one.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
But in Japan.
Yeah. I didn't go to the last one in Paris or Spain. they just like clash with other races. But being in Japan and just where it fits, it's going to work out, which is nice this time around.
Yeah,
but
good.
back to your question, like by this session, I didn't really have any fatigue. I was a little bit just slightly domsy from doing gym the day before. But yeah, felt quite good. And I find that, I mean, look, gym for me is, I'm not in there doing like hang cleans and all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I'm just sort of preparing my body to run and to stay injury free. So it's usually a good feeling. And then cool down.
What shoes did you wear on the grass track?
I actually opted for the Metaspeed Sky. I normally wear the Edge, but I had a pair of Sky that haven't been used really much at all, and I sort of bring the Sky out for track or hills, just because I think it's like a bit lower profile shoe, like a tiny bit. I don't know. You could tell me, you're the shoe guy.
Not really. Nah. I mean, what do you think it is?
I think for me, I find the Sky is like maybe a bit more like Cadence, like it's a bit less stacked than the Edge. Like the Edge is like my favorite shoe,
and it's wider at the front, so it's actually more footprint.
Yeah, I don't like it as much. I like the Edge, but I just like try and wear it sometimes because I get sent a couple of pairs and I think, I should wear it.
No, you probably like the Edge. Stick with the Edge.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much in the Sky for someone that likes the Edge. Normally you like one or the other.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. But yeah, just did a 15-minute cool down, 3.3 Ks. And then that evening I did a 30-minute elliptical double. Average heart rate was 130. And then Wednesday morning, 75 minutes. And my notes here on Strava say solo, but with IRP. So yeah, listen to you guys.
Thank you. He's got to mention
Brady loved that. Brady loved that.
The monthly Chriso brought this up actually when we recorded that last week. He's like, how good's this? He's listening to the show.
Yeah.
He talks about you every time we do one of those episodes. He's your number one fan.
I should be a Patreon so I can listen.
I'll flick it through you.
I went, one of my favourite places to go in Adelaide is just out in the Torrens towards like the hills. So it's a bit more, it's the most undulation you can get if you're running from the city. And you don't have to stop at traffic lights and that sort of thing. So, I'd missed the guys that morning. They'd gone a bit earlier. And I think I was walking Rufus at the park and just wanted to have a bit of a slower morning. So, 75 minutes, 17.2 Ks at 4:21s, listening to you guys.
Did you run with your phone, Izzy?
Yeah, there's a pair of ASICS shorts and I've got about 6 pairs of them because they're quite kind of like sort of high-waisted and they've got a really big pocket at the back, which like you put your phone in it long ways and I can't even feel that it's there because it kind of sits right on my back.
Yeah, Harold's got so good with that. But I do ask that question, like when we were talking about that thirst trap video that Croaks put up, did you pause the run and check it out?
I did see it, it was a good video. But I have to say, I filmed Riley on the treadmill a couple of days ago too for his Instagram story. So maybe,
Did he ask you to?
Actually, he did. But it was more because he's sort of trying to like look at his form and figure out his knee, and and then it turned out that I actually got some good angles, so he used it for some content.
Good work.
Yeah. But elliptical double that evening, another 30 minutes. Average heart rate 140. So I find it really easy just to kind of hop on the elliptical and run and sit at a heart rate around the 140. 130s, whereas I go for a double run and like it sounds silly, but I think I've gotten so fit that I find it hard. Like I'll go for a 30-minute run and I won't even break 120 heart rate. And you're kind of like, what am I getting out of this? So that's why I think the elliptical's kind of good.
Moose, are you still getting something out of it at that low heart rate?
I know you are, but
jogging.
Maybe not.
Yeah, but it's a lot of impact, isn't it, on the body when you're jogging that versus elliptical when there's barely any impact.
Yeah, and I can watch some YouTube videos or Netflix.
What have you been watching, Izzy?
I actually just caught up on some of the Clayton Young videos.
I watched that today.
So I've posted one YouTube video and I've got another one coming that I've made from Nagoya that's hopefully going to come out this week. But
you make them?
Yeah, I've made one. Yeah, I did one from Valencia. Yeah,
you do the edits and everything.
No, so I had a guy who does content for us at Runners One film and make the first one for me, And then I kind of got like a vlog camera, I guess, and took it to Nagoya and like filmed a bit and getting someone to edit it for me. Yeah.
Is this just like, this is with like brand Izzi Batt-Doyle in mind? Like how do you...
Yeah, we've done it. We've done a lot of content with Runners One, and I think it's a great way of sharing like stories and building your community. And like we'd sort of thought about doing it a bit more through more of a long form video. On Runners One, we've done some like interviews with people about their journeys, all different levels of runners. And I think it's a really great way for their teammates to know more about them and share different stories within the community. But yeah, this is sort of, I've always loved sharing, my running. And I think that we're seeing now, I hate that there's so many influencers out there sort of just like sharing stuff that's like not even like necessarily accurate, I don't know the right word. So I'm kind of like, well, like how about some, more people who, are doing the stuff, share it. And so that's kind of, we'll see what happens.
We've spoken about it, Moose, haven't we? Like if elite athletes aren't going to do it, an influencer will and take the attention.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think we are seeing that, of course, in the space, obviously the most important thing as a professional runner is to perform well, and that has to be first and foremost. But if you can position yourself as someone who's more marketable to brands other than just your times, then yeah, you're going to get more out of the sport. And of course, that's what I want to do, as someone who sees it as a career as well too. So yeah, I'm hoping that maybe through having a bit more exposure with a YouTube channel too, that can help me in different ways. Yeah. But at the moment, it's costing me money to put videos out, but it's a bit of fun.
Yeah, you need to have that person though that knows like can put it together and make it look good and send it all to them and just say, pay them to do that. And also knows like, because they always have like dramatic like text over like, you know what I mean? Like how you've got to know all the cheats, I feel, all the tricks and tips, how to make it be successful.
Yeah, but no, it's more just like, I think I'll look to film just like, a bit of training sessions and like a bit of travel. I won't be doing like, full sort of like following myself around 24/7. It needs to be like authentic, I think.
You should reach out to Ben Parks. He's a long time listener to the show. A good fella. If you got any questions, he's like number one man in running YouTube.
Yeah. All right.
He'll help you out.
Put him on the list.
I hope so. Anyway, I'm sure he would after saying that. Sorry, what day are we up to? Saturday?
Back to Thursday. Thursday. So straight into 3 sessions a week. So 20-minute warm-up on the Thursday, 4:33s, and then I just did 3 by 8-minute threshold. I did 2-minute jog. I think I was actually meant to do 1-minute jog, but this felt right. 8 minutes at 3:22s, 8 minutes at 2 minutes at 4:01 pace, and then 8 minutes at 3:23s. 2 minutes at 4:01 pace again, and then 8 minutes at 3:18s, 2 minutes at 3:52s, and a 20-minute warm down at 4:28. So that was 18K all up. And I felt really good in this. I was a bit worried because I feel like you can feel good on the short stuff and then go and do threshold again after a marathon and actually feel quite tired halfway through the session. So I was a little bit cautious to start with and ran a little bit more, controlled with the 3:22, 3:23 pace. And then by the third one, I was like, I feel pretty good. So was able to run 3:18s. But I kind of looked at my heart rate data from this afterwards and thought, should I be running my threshold like harder? Because I'm sitting like high 150s, 160 low for these.
Yeah, but you don't have data, do you? Have you been in the lab?
Not for a long time. Like my threshold when I last got tested was like 173. But that would have been like 6 years ago. So
but the first 8 minutes, your heart rate gets up. Threshold's not like you want your threshold at 30 seconds in because you're going to have to sprint to get it there. You're going to just flood yourself with lactic. So you're better off doing it how you've done it because by the end of the next rep, like by the end of the last rep, you're up to 169 or you reach that. Because I just had a quick look at this to sort of look at your effort. I was just to see, because sometimes people do their threshold and their heart rate's just like this continual increase throughout the rep. But yours looks pretty good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I wasn't sure because to be honest, this half marathon's really thrown me off because I used to think that my threshold was like kind of like half marathon pace or effort. And that was when it used to be like 3:17, 3:18 pace was my half marathon pace. But now I'm like, well, my half marathon pace is, I'm not running that for my threshold reps. I might run that for a 2K rep, like a fast 2K.
It says here it's 24 degrees when you did it. And
yeah, it was pretty warm.
8, 9, 10 days after a marathon.
Yeah.
And you run around what is it, gravel track there?
It's a road. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I like the idea personally of someone training underneath their their red line.
Especially when you're doing 3 sessions a week, I think that one of them has to be a little bit more controlled. Yeah.
And so when's the interval? Like MTC always typically do like the straight thresholds, 20 minutes, 25, 30.
We haven't done them for a little while. That's what I did when I first joined back in 2021, 2022. But actually the last 2 years, it's been more like 3x12, 4x8,
cut
3x9.
Splice some intervals in.
Yeah. Okay, so then the afternoon, I did a 30-minute Pilates live one with a bunch of people online, which was fun. Sinead was there. I can't remember who else, actually. I don't think Jess was on that one. And then that was just mobility though, just not strength, I don't think. And then I did an elliptical double at like 7 o'clock after I'd walked Rufus. So that was 137 average heart rate again. And then Friday was just a recovery run, 65 minutes easy because I went for a bit of a longer loop, 14.7 Ks, 424s. Getting a bit cooler weather in Adelaide than we have. Had some really hot weeks, so it's a bit nicer running. You don't feel like you're in a sauna. And then 30-minute elliptical in the evening, 131 heart rate average. And then Saturday I did a session again, went to the grass track, same one as Tuesday. And so warm-up was, just over 23 minutes, 5 and a bit Ks. And then I did 6x1K. And actually, Nick had told me to do 6x1K at 3:15 pace and maybe hit like 2 of them a bit faster if I felt good. And I did the first one and it was 3:06. And I was like, well, that didn't feel too hard. So I guess I'll just try and maintain that. So I went 3:06, 3:04, 3:06, 3:07, 3:06, 3:06. And I did 90 seconds recovery just because I was jogging back to the start, 200. And I was just getting just over a minute. So I just thought I'd do 90 seconds. And it was funny because there was some footy guys training like old collegians from one of the private schools here. And they were doing like, real hard intervals like footy players do. And then, and I kind of had to say, I'll track. And then, it was just, they were flogging themselves. But I think they were sort of looking at me being like, like, how is she, still going at that pace? But it was pretty funny because a few reps I had them to kind of chase. I definitely felt like I was going a lot better than they were, which is nice. But this just came out like faster than I expected. And I was pretty happy because it was wet grass and not in the best conditions. So I kind of felt like, if I'm running this pretty like this is what's coming out, then that's a good indication that I'm going okay. But it was probably like I definitely was pushing harder than I was on Thursday or that I was on Tuesday. So, cool down 20 minutes, 4.2 Ks at 4:46 pace. Any questions on the session or
spikes for that one on the wet grass?
No, I was going to. I should have. I was kind of like I should have like the last rep maybe, but I think I'll wear them tomorrow morning just to get them out of the box. I went with the edge. Went back to the edge for this session. I don't think I liked I think I hadn't really liked the sky that much Tuesday.
So you got spikes that are 20 mil under. They're legal. ASICs have got you some that work.
I assume so. Yeah, I just got the new one in the box last week of the Metaspeed LD, which everyone else seems to be wearing. So
should be good then.
Should be good.
Everyone else is wearing it.
Yeah. And then I did a gym for an hour on Saturday after my session, and then did an elliptical double that evening, 30 minutes at 137 average heart rate. And then Sunday did a long run with a group from the run house, had a really good group, and going on my favorite route, same way I'd gone on Wednesday, up along the Torrens. And I actually was planning to do 90 minutes, and normally the group, even when I'm doing 2.5 hours, does 90 minutes, and then those who are kind of adding on add on, but no one turned for 90. And then I was like, wait, have I gone with the 145 group here? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, all right. So I just committed to that. And that was an hour 45 or an hour 46, 25.87 Ks. So I did not need to round up to 26 Ks. And that was at 4:06 average pace. Only 150 meters elevation. So it's not like it's hilly. It's just got a little bit more undulation on that path than just the parklands. But I was not pushing this run. Like I was in the group of, I don't know, 8 guys. Just hanging out and hanging on.
The run looks, 150 is flat. That's all right.
It is.
You've
know.
done 3 sessions that week. We can't.
Yeah.
You can't have every run hard. But I'm just on like the satellite, looking to the right-hand side of the city. There are a lot of hills out there.
There are. Yeah. The thing about Adelaide though is it's like pretty flat, or it's like really like you're really going into the hills.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do a lot of like. There's some really good trail running here in Adelaide, like Cleland National Park, Belair. Like we do have a really good local trail series here in Adelaide, and trail running is quite a big thing. In Adelaide for sure.
You don't
we have
ever
a lot
go
of
there,
big
though?
races. Not really. Like we used to go to Belair National Park for a long run every now and again, or out to Kaipo Forest. But to be honest, like just with the group and like with the coffee shop, like we really have to be around most Saturdays or Sundays after a run. Like we get so busy that I'm serving or handing out coffees. So yeah, we're just sort of the way that our life is set up. It doesn't really make sense. Not making coffees, but yeah, I'll be behind the machine, behind the counter. Nah, not me. Save that for other people. It's all right.
That's a good week. 2 weeks after a marathon, 1 week before a 3K.
Well, actually, so then I did 26 minutes of Pilates last night, but just mobility, and then sauna, 20 minutes sauna for recovery. And yeah, that was a good week. 121.2, I think.
Have you got a sauna, Izzy? Actually, I heard a whisper you were building like a recovery centre.
Yeah, so we have a little gym set up across the road from the run house. We're not officially open yet, but we do have a sauna and an ice bath and like a gym area and like a couple of Normatecs. And Riley's got a treatment room there too. So we're hoping to be open in a couple of weeks. We've been paying rent for about 6 months, getting it set up, but it's just hard because it's not my main like focus. Like I'm not really even sort of the one doing these things, but we do have a lot of things that are going on. So not dedicated to just one thing. So yeah, some things just take a bit longer than they plan to be. But that's been nice for me.
Yeah, give us.
I've been doing gym there, and
I was just going to say, give us the over under for this weekend. So 8:47.99, the PB. What time? Where do we think we're going to land? Where do people win slabs of beer?
Oh, I would love to. I'm going to be positive and say under.
Oh, under the PB.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
Okay, there you go, Moose. Under over PB.
What is it? 8:43.
8:47.
7.99.
Where'd you run PB?
Nationals last year when I led the whole way until a lap to go, and then I came 8th.
Yeah. You want a slab on this, Brady? What about you, Izzy? Slab? I'll go over that. Given that you've run a marathon 3 weeks ago.
Super compensation. She's gonna get. She's not gonna have to lead.
I just feel like I feel like I am the fittest that I've been, and so surely. But then it's like, at what point is like the race is too short that you just can't? Like I haven't done strides. Haven't done. I'm not feeling fast.
It's only 70-second laps, Moose, isn't it?
Well, take it then.
Yeah,
70 seconds is 8:45.
Yeah, I think I can run 8:45, but like I think that even if I run 8:55, it'd still be a fine run. Like I'd be a little bit disappointed, to be honest, but
you'd owe me a slab.
I don't even drink beer. I don't know.
Saturday night, just
send you some
kombuchas
or something, or some champagne. I'll send you a bottle of champagne, but I'm going to need a pretty high quality beer if you're going to make that deal.
Yeah.
Jeez, 12k an hour wind is nothing for Albert Park as well.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Could be on here, is he?
I think it really depends on just how the race plays out because, I think that I'm the sort of runner that if it's just 70-second laps from the get-go, then I feel like I can hang on. I can't kick off that. But
7 people quicker than you're in the race. We'll get to it at the end. So you're not going to have to lead, you wouldn't think.
nah.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Could be a kickers race.
But I feel like the two, I think, is it Ethiopians coming over? Oh, sorry, we'll get to that. You guys got to do your weeks.
We'll give it a preview at the end. Moose, tell us about your week. What have you been doing?
Did 68K. Didn't miss a day. Oh, well. Didn't miss a programmed run. So I did a day off on Monday, recover. Then on Tuesday, what was happening? My mum's away, so I'm doing the kinder drop-off on Tuesday this week. So that means I run after 9 o'clock, get home, get changed. So it's pretty pleasant actual time to run. You just got to have some brekkie when you first wake up. It's a real pro hours. I noticed a lot of your runs are very pro hours, Izzy, because you're a pro. So that makes sense.
They are.
But I feel like a real fraud running at 9:50, 10 a.m. But it's good. The next day I was also doing the post-kinder drop-off. So I got on the bike. I dropped Pia off on the e-bike and then keep riding down to Kugura Park area. A little video on the Strava just showing the road that I do the workout on. I had 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. That was the workout. I added a minute because there was no way I was not doing an extra minute after the end of that workout. And that was at steady pace. I think I got told to not go over 170 heart rate, which my threshold's about 174-ish, I think, but who knows exactly anymore. That's just what it used to be, and it sort of feels about that now too. Maybe I'm a bit older, so it's probably dropped a couple of beats. But the workout went fairly well. I wore the Hoka Cielo X1 V2, which is quite an odd shoe. I know you've done some strides in it now, Brady.
Yeah. Didn't rate it for the first time I did strides, but then the second time I'm like, nah, there could be something in this shoe. Changed my
really
perception.
rocketed. So it's like one of the strongest toe springs that you'll ever put on your foot. It's a bit like that Mizuno Rebellion Pro. It's maybe not as exaggerated as that. The first 5 minutes I ran, it was probably like uphill rep, I think. Yeah, an uphill rep. I went 3:22 pace. The shoe just did not feel right under my foot. I was having trouble working out where to land. Felt a bit harsh. It felt like I was landing and there was just this triangle of foam right under my arch, and I felt like all the impact was like jolting back at me, like I was running on the wrong side of a rocker, like on the back of a seesaw and just going clunk. But I started to work the shoe out as the workout went. So the next rep, 4 minutes, 3:22 pace again. Then 3 minutes at 3:27s. I think I had a few corners in that rep perhaps. Then 3:22 pace for the 2 minutes and 3:18 pace for the last repeat. And the heart rate was pretty controlled here. I was really surprised to see those sort of paces on this workout because I haven't done a workout yet. So I didn't really know where I was at here. So that was promising for me. By the last rep, I think I found out the role of the shoe really well. I just don't think you need to be changing your gait to match a shoe. I feel like the shoe should just be really smooth under your foot. Like that's the right shoe, not something that's you have to fully focus on hitting some sort of sweet spot. And some people will hit this sweet spot. Like I reckon I do think this could work for you, Brady. If you do a workout in it, if you give it a crack and have it, I know your workouts are really long right now, but if you have a short one, should do it a short one in it.
I'm on the track on Wednesday. I'm thinking about wearing it there.
Yeah, have a go at it.
A whole lot of 400s. Hey, while you uploading, can you go back to separating your workouts and your warm-up and cool-downs, please, for Strava?
Yeah, I will. Honestly thought this was going to be such a miserable workout that it's nice to hide it in a run like this. Like you can just tuck it away and no one really knows. But from now on, I'm going to put them separate. You're right.
I do my track session separate, but then I do my threshold for some reason like within.
Split them. It's a hill I'm willing to die on. I know people are completely against me, but so I had this chat with Andy yesterday. So he did a massive workout Friday, and I think he went through half marathon in like 62, 63 minutes. But because he had his he's had his warm up and cool down there, it didn't look anything special on Strava.
Yeah.
And then yours here, Moose, I looked at this and was like, oh yeah, 12K at 4:15s. Cool, is still unfit. And now I've heard you explain the paces, and I'm like, oh, Moose is going well again.
Yeah, well, if
People
I
don't have time to click in and look at splits. Give it to them on a platter.
If I hadn't known I was doing this, then I would have split it, but I didn't. And you know, the annoying thing for me here is that I can't split the shoes out. So I can't track shoe mileage because it's all one, and I've changed shoes mid run, so that annoys me. It sort of gets to me, and I don't do it anymore. We swapped it out there. But yeah, I pulled up really well from that. Jogged the next day. A pair of Brooks Glycerin Max, probably the thickest, most cushioned shoe in the world. It felt all right. Then Friday morning, did a workout. Went 10 by minute on, minute off in the caravan park. It's a 1.1K loop. The only annoying thing here is there's always a bunch of like kids on school camp that camp there, and they're all waking up at this time of the morning and getting in the way. Bloody speed humps on here as well. And the speed humps are okay if you're jogging around because it's easy to avoid them, but having to chop your stride all the time or kind of lengthen it to get over a speed hump's pretty annoying. The idea behind this was on and off, so I wasn't looking at pace. I actually had headphones in and I had music playing, and I never really do that. I had the shocks on, and the shocks connected to my watch, and so it was narrating my workout as I went. So I'd finish a rep and it would be like, lap 4, 3:04 per K. I'm like, fuck, this is great. Like this, I like this. And I don't have to look down. It just tells me. And I'm not even looking at my watch at all because my watch was set to beep every minute. And I thought this is some technology here. And then it disconnected for some reason, and I had to start looking down at my end of my laps. But the laps, the ons 3:03, 02, 14, 2:59, 08, 57, 08, 58, 56, 3:02, and the jogs were slow. So I was cruising in the jogs. I haven't looked at my heart rate data, but it got up there, like that last repeat. The heart rate got up well over threshold, which is kind of what it was supposed to be. Like it was supposed to be a tougher workout, like a VO2 max type workout. But yeah, again, happy to hit some paces that I haven't thought that I would be able to get to. And this week has given me so much confidence going forward that I can actually get back and there's still some running left in me. So I jogged a couple of days, and then Sunday, I jogged just once Saturday, and then Sunday went out for a long run. Met the crew down in Anglesea, starting to get some numbers down there, drawing them back to the hills. Had a new guy join us from Bendigo, actually. Joined us. His name's Sean. What's his surname?
Sean White.
Sean McCarthy.
Oh, different Sean.
He was a cyclist from Bendigo. He did that half marathon. He ran 1:22 at that Bendigo half that you did.
Oh yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so he his kid goes to kinder, 4-year-old kinder next to Pia, and he just was jogging along and he listened to the pod and he's like turned around and said, "Oh hey, are you guys running?" And then we got him onto the long run, which is good. We pretty much signed him up for Geelong cross country within 10 minutes. He's doing Ballarat half, but unfortunately he joined the long run, and on your first day at the long run as part of this group, it means that you get your legs stretched up the hills. So we went up Hurst Road. Now I've been up Hurst Road a fair few times. This road, it goes for 15. It's normally like 15 and a half to 18 minutes long. It's a decent little uphill, a few little downs through it. It goes, how long is it? 3.75K. I've done it. How many times have I done it? Let me see. I've done it a fair few times. Few of my efforts. Because this is like a typical long run for us. I've done it. How do you know how many times you've done it?
I think it doesn't the segment say like
23. 23 times I've done it. And this was the fastest that we have ever done it. And this is a place Jess Stenson came after that 5K she did in Geelong that time and just got on the front and tried to drop everybody. And she was like really throwing her weight around that day. So we've gone faster that on this run than that day. And like my heart rate got up, but I felt really good. Like my legs were working well. I was cooked by the top of the hill, but then we just cruised for the rest of the run and recovered. So it was like one little 15-minute sort of solid effort and then jogged the rest of the way. Got told off by Ali for doing that because she's helping me now with my training. So she said, "You're a dickhead," basically. You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, for me, that was a good long run. I finished 19K. I had a bit of sciatica that afternoon, which was annoying, but that sort of went away today. I had a day off today. So 68K or so, and really happy with how that's gone. So time to increase for me. Get ready for cross country.
Yeah, it sounds like a much better, good progression week from your weeks before.
Yeah,
for sure.
that was good.
Turn a corner.
Yeah, it's funny how you can put together little bits of fitness just from such tiny amounts of jogging.
Yeah, it comes quickly too. I think once when you're someone who's run a lot in your life, it doesn't take much once you get back doing, a reasonable amount.
Yeah, I was at a very low base, very low base. Like I'm talking, I would run 5 minutes a K and my heart rate would be halfway up the threshold from easy, like somewhere in the middle. So it's been a promising week for me. The weather's helped, like you said. It's got cooler, your heart rate's lower, everything's a bit more pleasant.
Do you need more, or do you think you just need more of the same?
I need more. Oh, well, both.
Kind of jump to like your best long run and 2 workouts.
Yeah, but there's small workouts. Like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is 15 minutes, I think, of jogging, and 10 minutes on is 10 minutes. Like that's not much.
Not much, but a lot compared to what you've been doing.
Yeah, you could also count Sunday as a work. Like there was 15-minute threshold in there.
Consistency is the key.
Yeah. Like next week I run 75K. So it's not like I'm fucking jumping
numbers.
up. Yeah.
I'll whistle through this week because it was really boring. Only did one workout. Monday, 16K. In the afternoon, 7K. Tuesday, I did 90 minutes and then put those Hoka things on for some strides moose. And as I said, I didn't really think much of them first go. But it's only strides. What's 8 by 20 seconds telling you? But we had this conversation on the monthly as well about shoes you put on now and you go, wow, this is different, which not necessarily means good. And there's also super shoes I'm putting on at the moment. I'm going, nothing special. But then you do workouts in them and you're like, oh, the watch is kind of saying there's something here. This pace is coming a bit easier than I thought. So a bit of a trap for people at the moment.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to be wowed by shoes. Like they shouldn't blow your mind. If they do and it feels amazing, great. But you shouldn't have to debate yourself or almost convince yourself that this is good.
That's a trap, though, isn't it?
It is. Like people are writing off this new Vaporfly from Nike, going, "Oh, there's nothing wow about it. Just feels like a regular super shoe." I'm like, yeah, good. Like, what's wrong with that? I
think it's people's expectations, mine included, that you want that wow factor and you want the paces to feel super comfortable.
Yeah, you don't put the ASICS shoe on or the current one and think like, oh, wow. But it's such a good and reliable shoe and people run really well in it. So
it is.
Yeah.
It's very reliable, that shoe.
Yeah.
Well, I did do 30 minutes on Tuesday, Arvo, and then I put that on actually box fresh pair of those. And I was just like doing strides in it before the workout going, how the hell did Andy run 206 in this thing? It doesn't even feel that special.
No, it doesn't.
But then I did drop off first, Moose. I'm with you, but I hate it. Kinder and school drop off, 9:30 a.m. warm up. I'm not a fan of it at all. Feels like half the day's gone. It's getting hot.
Yeah, well, that's not good. But it's nice to run warmed up.
Yeah, it is, but
I think whatever you're like not used to can be enjoyable though. Like I did 3 weeks in a row where I did the runathon session starting at 6:15 in the morning, and like I felt so accomplished being done by 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Whereas when I start my session at 9:30, like I may have been up for a while, but I feel like you Moose, like it's 12 o'clock days, like I'm having a shower and then it's like somehow it's 3 o'clock and I'm like, I feel like I've got nothing done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you got other stuff in your life, it's weird mentally.
Yeah.
And also like how you eat, as you said before, Moose. Like I'm finishing this workout at like 11:30 and I'm like, all I've had is a couple of gels and a couple of bits of toast. Whereas 11:30 every other day of the week, I've had like 2 and a bit meals probably. Anyway, my workout in the program was 15 to 21K reps in between 3:10 and 3:15 off 1 minute walk recovery. Did the first 10 and I was like, this is a piece of piss. I'm going to be able to do like 25 today. Just going to tap on an extra 5. Then I got to 12, 13. Things started to get a bit hard. Got to about 25 degrees, so it was getting a bit hot. And then I stopped at number 18, which was still good. Still a lot of Ks in there. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing broken threshold where you still get a whole lot of like time at threshold this way. And that shoe was pretty good. I felt like I was covering the ground pretty good on top of it. And yeah, that could be a race day shoe for me, I think. Half the day was gone. So I didn't double that afternoon because I'd only just finished my morning run. Thursday, did 66 minutes before work at 4:38. Got in my notes here, very dark, early in the morning at the moment. 30 minutes on the treadmill that afternoon, still watching Doha Moose. I finished it off today, actually. It's getting really good. Enjoyed that. Friday, I was listening to Croaks for 16K. You got a mention in this, actually. He interviewed Andy Blow from Precision Fuel and Hydration, Izzy, the boss. So, it was good.
Very good stuff.
All the nutrition questions. So, it's always good to have on the show.
Is that out yet? That's not out yet?
No, I think it comes out next week. I was talking to Zach about that before. It's on Patreon, but it'll be everywhere, in a couple of weeks' time. So, thanks to all the people that sent in questions for that. Saturday, I was a bit hungover. First time I've been hungover in ages. Went to the pub, $3 schooners, Moose. I think it's illegal to sell them that cheap, isn't it? $3 for a schooner. Great Northern. Draft? $3.50 for a draft. $3 for Great Northern.
Worth that.
$3.50 for a draft, though.
Of Great Northern.
No, $3 for Great Northern, $3.50 for draft.
Okay.
$3.50 vodkas as well.
For how long?
1 hour. Happy hour.
Oh, that would get messy.
Got very dangerous really quick. So a bit hungover Saturday morning, but got through. Then I drove to Bendigo, took the kids down there. We did 3 hours. Nath Stote and I did 3 hours. Crammers did about, 2 hours 10, maybe 2 hours 15. And then Andy was about 2 hours 45. Got this new loop going on. So they're like very traditional in Bendigo. They do the same loop pretty much every Sunday, which is like a 90-minute loop. So if you want to do any more, you've kind of got to add on before or after around this like reserve. And I knew I wanted to do 3 hours. So I talked Andy into dropping to the other side of this place called One Tree Hill out to Nanjing. And yeah, we got 3 hours done, 4:14 pace, 700 meters of climbing. It was great fun. Just like, when you're running on just a big loop and you feel like you're on a bit of an adventure, just you're moving in the right direction. So, it was good.
3 hours. Is that something you like always do in a field, or is it like, do you do it a couple of times or once? Or?
Yeah, I remember 2020 when Moose was writing my program, he gave it to me before Rotterdam. And then I've done it 2 other times since then, I think. So it's something I like to put in. It's actually like, it looks way harder than it actually is. Like I wasn't.
Oh, and I feel like I definitely could do it. It's just I have never done it or thought about doing it. Like I've always just been given 2.5 hours, and I kind of had thought like, I wouldn't mind doing 2 hours 45. Like I know Andy does a few 2 hours 45.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think more.
You did 42 point. You did a marathon.
Yeah, we did, and we got rolling. We hit some downhill late as well. I feel like the last couple of Ks was all downhill, so I think we were rolling like 3:45s maybe towards the end there, and it felt pretty good. Like we were well fueled as well. I think what did I get down? We had like bottles dropped off at different points. So I got 2 of the 90-gram gels down and then 2 bottles of like 250 ml full of Gatorade and then some flat Coke as well. I put in one of my drink bottles. So like when you're not bonking, it's kind of easy. You just like
Yeah.
at that pace, you're topping up, and you just feel like that's one of my weaknesses, like smacking up my legs so I can handle the distance and getting that kind of
It's
climbing.
good. It's good.
And the
I
downhills.
like it.
Yeah, it's
Over
really good.
distance.
Yeah.
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 I really like it. I always used to have 43 to 46, 47 Ks when I was sort of running well in there. And it might be a workout, like a real long workout. Not a long workout, but I used to do like 35K and then do a workout.
Yeah.
Or a bit of a workout. And it was,
But that's what the marathon is. Like, it's like, I tell people, it's like you're going to slow down the second half unless like you're in, a Valencia maybe, or like you've gone really conservative in the first half. Like, you're going to be slowing down. It's going to feel hard. Like, prepare yourself physically and mentally to like get through that inevitable struggle of the marathon.
Yeah.
Like when your slow twitch muscles start to fully fatigue, like you have to prepare other muscle fibers ready to go. And that's that running faster late, and it's conditioning like you did, Brady, 3 hours.
And I hadn't worked out since Wednesday, so I felt like I went into it pretty fresh as well. So it kind of eliminates a bit of a risk there as well. But no, it was good. I think I was like 170 something Ks, but off like 3 doubles and 1 workout, 172. So that's good. 5 weeks to go.
Your Strava graph is so like consistent for the last 3 months.
It's very straight.
I don't like it.
Mine is like really high peaks and like troughs. And
you want to see a down week, Moose?
Yes.
But they're only 160K weeks.
Give yourself a recovery, mate. Like, chill out a bit.
That was chilling out this week. I ran 18 Ks. 18 of my Ks were quicker than 4-minute pace pretty much. Maybe a couple in that long run were quicker than 4 minutes. Maybe 22 of my Ks for the whole week were quicker than 4 minutes.
Here's a theory for you. You can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
You can debate it. But you know how like you've slogged away at the marathon and we haven't really seen like a massive breakthrough. You've run well. You've run well. And you've run consistently well. But your training does not add you're just adding the same amount of consistent stress every single week. Like, I want to see some polarized weeks. I want to see some big weeks. Chuck a 220 in, drop it back to a 120. Shake it up a bit.
Okay. When you said that a few weeks ago, I did change the workouts. I'm like, okay, I want to steal Jordan Donnelly's workouts. Well, not all of them, but some of them. But you mean also play with the overall distance.
I would start playing with a lot of stuff.
It's hard to get when it's still hot. It's hard to go more than 180. You just cook yourself.
It's not hot anymore. It's good to go.
Still hot here, mate.
Perfect weather.
It's still hot here.
You got a treadmill?
Yeah, I'm doing stuff on the treadmill. It's still 30 degrees here every day. Maybe 25 over the weekend.
I got another. The next race is you're in the next race, 2019 Lake Biwa.
What do you mean?
Good race.
Watch that.
I reckon I'll find you one. I'll find you that.
No, I'm not watching that. That was a terrible day. It's real wet and windy. The thing is, I watched Doha trying to get some sightings of you, and you're not even in there.
Nah, fuck. I'm fucking 8K back.
How good was Callum Hawkins, by the way? Because I don't know who won. So I was watching it who wins this race? I'd forgotten who the winners were. Anyway, let's thank some patrons.
Big name wins the race, actually.
Yes. Spoilers. I did watch it, and I was surprised he did win that because I was slagging him off after that Breaking 2 stuff a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Lalisa DeCisi, you better as well say it.
Won Boston a couple of times. He'd come off New York, but he had the shocker at Breaking 2.
Yeah, he was he was the favourite going into that, though.
Maybe he didn't get enough cash. He just didn't seem interested. He just rocked up unfit. Ran 2:14.
Breaking 2.
He ran 2:14 in perfect conditions with paces and stuff. Anyway, let's thank some Patreon supporters. We've been going a while. Moose, who have you got?
Well, I got Matt Lenton. So Matt Lenton's from Ballarat. He is in the home of one of the most popular races coming up ever. Every second customer in our store now is doing Ballarat Marathon. It's crazy how that's taken off. He ran 49.50 at last year's River Run 10K, which is in Geelong, around the river. 155 at the 2023 Run Melbourne Half, and 428 at the 2023 Melbourne Marathon. Izzy, your job is to pick which is the best PB out of those three, please.
Oh, um, yeah, that's. I reckon actually I think the 10K.
Yeah,
Yeah,
10K by far, I reckon.
definitely. Yeah,
10K
I was
by a
trying to compare
mile.
because like it's just hard because like you run a 2 hour marathon, you know that usually you think yeah 420, but it just is marathon is hard. It depends on how they're training, but yeah 10K definitely.
Yeah, he's a
He's
speed
running.
demon, Matt. 40.
Yeah,
That's
he
his
needs to work on his marathon. Maybe he just needs a few more Ks in the week.
Thanks for your
good
support,
from
Matt.
him.
Who you thanking, Izzy?
I'm thanking Zachary Haynes. Sorry if I butchered his last name. Strava is locked down, but we found some results. We hope that they are his. So it looks like he's run 17:37 at the 2022 Collingwood Classic 5K and 77:40 at the 2023 Gold Coast Half and 2:47 at the 2022 Gold Coast Marathon. So yeah, some really strong races under his belt there.
Which one's
yeah.
the best, Moose?
I think at 2:47.
The half.
Oh,
Do you reckon?
77 double at 2:35-ish.
Yeah.
Add 12. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to thank
Pretty close.
Thanks, Zach, for your support. Do you know Harry Whitford, Izzy, from Adelaide?
Yes.
That's who I'm thanking.
Harry actually runs in our group.
Okay. He's got some quick
so
times.
Give you a bit more info.
Yeah, Adelaide, according to his World Athletics profile, he has PBs of 155 800, 354 for 1500, and 836 for the 3K. These were all set in 2021, though, Croak says, when he was only 18 years old. And he's still going right now?
Yeah. Yeah, so actually Harry ran at Team Tempo and, known him for a while. And he's kind of had a bit of a, took the brakes off running for a while. He's a smart guy too. He's had the GAMS out on Sunday morning, so he got his long run out the way on Saturday. And yeah, he's got back into running a bit more now and runs with the Runners One group. And yeah, he's getting fitter every week. Like he's progressing. It's a big group out there, and every week he's sort of moving through the group and running with faster people. So I think he's going to get back to his best. Yeah, I think he's not done yet, so could see some fast times from him in the future.
Yeah, these are diamonds in the rough. PBs like that over the shorter distance. Now put some Ks into him later in life.
Yeah,
he's a 29-minute guy waiting to
they
happen
come
for
back
10K.
pretty quick, don't they?
Yeah,
he's a good guy too. He's hangs out a lot at the run house, and he's a good fella. So hopefully get him running fast again soon.
Thank you to all our Patreon supporters for supporting the Inside Run podcast. If you like what we do and you want to support us monthly, there's a couple of different options on patreon.com/Inside Running Podcast. The top option also has bonus content. So I've been doing the monthly a lot recently with Chriso and Toby gearing up for their marathons on the same day, London and Ballarat. The UK boys are on this week, Moose. I want them to talk about Callum Hawkins, because that's what got me talking about that Doha race. Give me some Callum Hawkins info. I want to know where he's at.
His dad used to coach. Did his dad coach
him?
Josh Lunn.
Oh, yeah. I think he did.
I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll know all about that. Also, Clousey raced on the weekend. 30:04 or something like that. 30:05.
See the size of his quads?
He wore our singlet. The only other one. Yeah. I love that.
I know. What a gun.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's been in the gym, though, for a few years.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's looking strong and staunch.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to listening to those guys over there on Patreon. Some running news thanks to our official race results partner, Axel Coffee. For the best in specialty coffee, visit axelcoffee.com.au. And here are this week's results. World Indoors was a big story over in China. We got 2 distance medals, both the same colour, bronze. Jess Hull, she ran 8:38.2 to get, or 0.28, that's important, to get bronze. She was narrowly defeated by Shelby Houlihan, who ran 8:38.26, and Hailu from Ethiopia got the win in 8:37.21 there. Kind of, it's like you expect Jess Hull to medal. I was super annoyed that a convicted doper who's just come off a ban beat her to that silver medal. But it's kind of the expectation that Jess Hull wins medals at global levels now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think she'd be really happy with that race, but I think she'd also be just a little bit relieved, just because, surely after Paris, it's just expectation now when she shows up that she's going to be on the podium. And I know she was a bit sick earlier in the season, missed a race and maybe wasn't quite at her best. So to come to this race and get a medal, I think she'd be really happy. Obviously a little bit maybe, not sure how she'd feel about of knowing like getting piped by that close and losing a silver to a bronze. But I think she'd be really pleased.
She went to front too, which was good to see. Like obviously her confidence must have really risen since that Olympic campaign.
She made that race for sure.
Yeah, you could tell she had a bit of swagger about it. Like when I turned it on, it was actually lucky. I think there was about 5 or 6 laps left, and she was in the lead. And the Ethiopian girl, Hailu, was just a step above. Like I don't think anyone was catching her after she went. But Jess was the only one that really tried to cover it, and that's probably what cost her the silver. If she had have sat back and tried to beat out the others, then maybe she gets herself a little fresher for that last kick. But it's good to see her have a crack and really try to go for the win. But yeah, I was watching in the lounge room, and as she got past late, I could see it coming. You could see Shelby coming.
You knew Shelby was, I was like, she's going to get her.
I thought that she looked real strong. You knew what she's done this season. Very, very good results this season. But I just thought, oh, fuck, that could have been the worst person to pass her. Like, give me anyone else to pass her. Okay, we still don't like seeing Jess Hull pass, but not the person that's been training 4 years straight under on a doping ban.
I think at least like for me watching, I was like, well, she's not losing gold here to get silver. Like of course, silver is better than bronze, but I feel like there's a win and there's kind of like on the podium. Like I don't know, like it's still frustrating. But I think it would be so much worse if she was in the lead position and then she'd gotten silver. Like in that sense, that would have been terrible.
Where do you
sit, gold medal,
Izzy? Where do you sit on dopers coming back and re-entering the competitive landscape? Like, how do you react?
It's a hard one. I find, like, with the whole process, I get so freaked out. Like, I'm on whereabouts. I've been elevated to the highest level after Valencia, I think because of my road running status, Nick was saying, or something. So I have to put in where I sleep every night, my time slot, and I can get tested not just by SIA, but by WADA at home. I just don't understand how people miss tests. That's one thing that really bothers me. Like when people get done for like missing a test or evading testers, like I just like, that's just so dirty because I just know that I know how worried I am about missing stuff. I look at my whereabouts every day. I have a reminder on my phone that says check whereabouts. How do people miss it? I don't know. They're obviously avoiding it. But then there's people who obviously get done like Shelby, and you want to trust that the appeal was done thoroughly and that if they said that they upheld it, then that's what's accurate. But then, the stuff that happened with Pete Bowl, that kind of confused me a bit too. So I kind of don't really know how to sit with some of this stuff because, like, I guess they could be wrong or tests could come back.
Pete Bowl got off though, didn't he?
I know, yeah.
So the system worked, if we consider that, right?
Yeah, so doesn't sit well with me that she's like, I wouldn't want to compete against Shelby.
You'll no doubt be competing against Shelby at some point.
Well, and the thing is, like, I have got to the level now where, like, I missed the Olympic final by one spot. I guarantee you that there's someone in that top 8 above me in that race when I came 9th that will probably get done in the next 5 years. And I never get that. I never get to be an Olympic finalist. I never get that opportunity. You can't make that up. Yep. So it does suck.
And we get it. People are right in like, yes, she did her time. She's jumped through those hoops to now be able to come back and compete. But it's just, I don't know, it just leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, I reckon. It was the same a couple of years ago when the Moroccan guy won Sydney and he'd come off a ban. You're just like, I would have loved to see that go to someone who hasn't done the wrong thing in the past. Not saying he did the wrong thing at the time, but you just... It's
just so hard because these days, like, I just not even surprised when I get someone sends me a screenshot or there's a Twitter post or someone banned or, just recently the guy who won Sydney. It's like, great, how many more out there are there that are ruining the sport for people like me who work so hard but can never even really be in that competitive realm against people who are cheating.
Running, whether for fun or competition, is always enjoyable, but it's even better when you can do it pain-free. That's why MyoFitness has teamed up with the Inside Running podcast to bring top-tier sports massage and myotherapy to our running community. Instead of waiting until you're injured to get a massage or see a physio, make recovery a regular part of your training. Stay injury-free for longer and power through your sessions like a boss. Trusted by elite athletes like Genevieve Gregson, Ryan Gregson, Peter Bowl, and many AFL stars, MyoFitness knows what it takes to keep you at your best. Whether you're managing a niggling injury, prepping for a big race, or recovering from an intense training block, our team has you covered at North Melbourne and Yarraville. As a special offer to Inside Running podcast listeners, mention Inside Running to get an intro discount. More details via myofitness.com.au. Located in North Melbourne and Yarraville, Victoria.
Yeah.
Yep.
Men's 3K. Listen to these names on the podium, guys. Jakob Ingebrigsten gets a win, 7:46.09. Aregawi from Ethiopia. You've heard that name before. 7:46, gets a silver. And Kai Robinson, the boy from Queensland, he comes third, gets the bronze, 7:47.09. Moose, I think you watched.
Did you call this? Who called this last week on the podcast? I'm sure you said, someone said, like, there's a chance that someone like Kai sneaks a bronze or medal.
Happy to put my hand up, but it definitely wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
And
okay, maybe it was Croaks.
Yeah.
maybe it was another podcast.
I feel like, I don't know.
I reckon I did have him as one to watch like a couple of years ago, maybe.
Oh, fuck off.
Just one to watch. I remember interviewing him and I was so impressed by him. Interviewed him when he was at Stanford. Like he was in he's a very high IQ guy, this guy, Kai Robinson. Very nice too. Like we've had a couple of interactions with him after that interview and he always responds, good guy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, never met him other than
Pretty
virtually.
quiet.
Yeah, pretty quiet, pretty modest kind of
Yeah,
guy.
I've been on a couple of teams with him and it's like, it's really nice, but pretty quiet. Yep. But I thought he races so well tactically. He also really made the race. He could put himself in it. And I think this also shows that, obviously we did so well collectively Australia for indoors, but, Kai's living over in America. He's getting some more experience racing indoors and he just ran this tactically so well.
It looked like he was gone a couple of times in that last 2 laps. And you could have easily been like, yep, you've dropped a fifth. That's an awesome result for you. But he just kept fighting on. And then up the home straight, like when Ingebrigtsen was taking Aregawi on the outside, then you just had Kai doing the same thing to the person who finished in fourth in that home straight. So super impressive for Kai Robinson to get a global medal with those two guys in front of him.
I was on the couch fist pumping that one. Like the silent, stand up and just start yes. Yeah. I was going hard for it because he come back late. Like that Yankee bloke, he passed him, and then Kai just dug deep, and I thought that is some spirit right there. And Jess Hull, one of the favourites even for the win at that race. Whereas Kai Robinson, you wouldn't have thought was a favourite for the win, and was it. Is a chance for a medal. I mean, he took our Australian record, but still, that's like announcing
big
yourself
deal.
on the world stage.
Deal. Yeah, so good from Kai Robinson. And he's running Murray Plan as well. He's coming home. So that's exciting. See him in Melbourne on the weekend if you're down there. 1,500. This was a demolition job for Tsegay. She ran 3:54.8. Welteji was second in 3:59.3. So 5 seconds she put into the field. Hunter Bell was third, the Brit, in 3:59.8. We had Georgia Griffith in fourth. She ran an Australian record, 4:80. Georgia also covered all the moves, looked pretty strong. But there are three world-class people in front of her. I feel some of these events, it wasn't as deep as an outdoor championship, but who she had in front of her. Didn't Bell win a medal at the Olympics?
Yeah, she was third at the Olympics. Yeah. I thought this was a really strong podium, and again I think Georgia really made this race too. She was really putting herself in the right at the front of the chase pack. Tsegay was just crazy, she just was so far ahead and going so far. She was on 3:45 pace I think for the first couple of laps, but Georgia ran so well.
She's, I reckon, on the circuit, she's got the most white line fever getting around. She is not afraid to just go crazy. Bit of Seth O'Donnell about her, Moose.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect. I mean, I didn't really see the start list and look, but I haven't seen these athletes running indoors all season. Have they run anything all season, or do they just show up to the world champs and just destroy everybody?
I'm not sure about the Ethiopians. Obviously, Georgia Bell has been running.
Yeah, no, that's who I meant. Tsegay and Hailu and Aregawi and
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Definitely not the big American meets we haven't seen them at, like Milrose and things like that.
It's pretty impressive to be able to just get on a short track and go and punch that out.
Yeah.
But they don't mess around. They just go fast.
Yeah.
And I think like indoors really like it's tactical if you let it be a tactical race, and the 400s and 800s and the 15s, there just a lot more tactics come into play. But yeah, with the 3K at least you can kind of string out a little bit.
Yeah, Ingebrigtsen got the double in the 15, 3:38.7. Neil Gawley was second in 3:39.07. And Heuser from the US, 3:39.1.
Yeah, Hauser, he went to Washington actually. I don't know, he was after my time, but a Washington dog.
Seems a lot of like almost a development team for the Team USA. You get a couple of, not their top tier guys, but the next tier down. Kind of gives them a chance to get a singlet.
Yeah, they're doing something right over there.
Ollie Hall was there. He finished third of 7 in his heat and failed to make the final. And Linden Hall was also in the 3K. She was ninth in 8:44.99, which was a straight final. In the 800s, we had 2 Aussies in action there. Abby Caldwell was 4 of 6 in her heat and 2:05.1. Sarah Billings also 4 of 6 in her heat, 2:03.6. I didn't watch those. Did you guys see those heats?
Yeah, I did.
Just got left behind a bit. Was it a sit and kick? Because those times they could run that solo almost.
I think probably like both incredible runners, but I think it probably showed a little bit their lack of indoor running, just because I think the 800 is so tactical and it's about like the line you run and the position you kind of get yourself in. I think Abby made a few sort of, I felt, tactical errors, which probably cost her, where she was in the race. And Sarah actually ran well, but she just got passed by Nia Atkins, who was a medalist recently at one of the global championships. So I think, she was just probably just, better than her, maybe on that day. Solid running, but I think that the 800 is very tactical indoors.
What about Aboya? Like, I know she had the time but wasn't selected, but her on an indoor track with her speed off the line could have been like a weapon in these things. I know there's a lot of coulda, shoulda, woulda kind of thing, but
it's very hard to
well.
Because she probably actually would go almost better in indoors if she's going to run hard from the get go and sort of have the first lap being faster than the second.
Yeah,
considerably. Yeah.
So Godzi did win the final in 1:58.4. Getachew was second in 1:59.6, and Silver was third in 1:59.8. And then Josh Hoey, the American, he got the win in 1:44.7 in the men's. He's coached by Justin Rinaldi, who is Pete Bowles' coach, an Australian coach. So Justin Rinaldi's coached a world champion, which is pretty cool. Close race too. Elliot Creston was just behind him, and Alvin Canales was third in 1:45.03. That's world indoors. Take me to New Zealand. Izzy, got some news from over there?
Yeah, Sam Ruthe. I don't know if I'm.
I think it's Ruthe.
Ruthe. Okay, right. Sam Ruthe. Yeah, youngest person to break the 4-minute mile barrier, running 3:58.35, paced by Sam Tanner. It was a great photo finish, like auctioning off spikes. Currently at 5.6K. Wow, that's big.
It is, isn't
it? But yeah, I watched some of the footage from this, and it was pretty cool. Like seeing them cross the line together, and Sam Tanner like clapping and being so up and about to have helped Sam achieve this amazing feat. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And obviously Sam Tanner is such a talent, and then seeing him help the next generation of New Zealand Sams out was pretty heartwarming. And I think that Sam Ruthe is running this weekend at Maury Plant. Am I right?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be really interesting to watch him run against a big field, fast guys, a bit older than him. But yeah, 15 Like he's 15.
He looks like he's
Yeah, he's a
19
child.
though. Like he's pretty developed.
He is.
But he's got some talent, this kid. And I guess the person that was at midday today, it was at $5,500, those spikes. But if he is the next Jakob Ingebrigtsen, and that could maybe be an investment, Moose. Get him in the shop
Definitely.
window.
Yeah, no, maybe for Runhouse.
Yeah, that'd be good. Nah, can't afford it at the moment.
No.
Just bought a house. I think with this though, it's such a good result. I hope that I don't know much about his situation, but I hope he has a really, good team around him and he continues to enjoy the sport, because at 15, I was just trying to make state teams to travel to interstate and get a few pins on my beanie, which obviously we're in a different world now. We've got some really amazing young guns running at this level, but yeah, I hope that he keeps enjoying himself and has a really good support team around him to make sure that he's got the right sort of pathways to keep enjoying it while also performing well.
Craig Kirkwood is his coach. I interviewed him. Did you interview him, Moose, or did I interview him? I think I interviewed him.
It wasn't me, no.
Yeah, he's been on the show before, so we're in good hands over there. And
yeah, surely he won't go to college or anything, being that.
You just go straight to pro, wouldn't you? Yeah, you'd have some good college offers, though, you'd think.
Good-looking kid.
Now with the NIL stuff, you can,
It's almost too young to be even thinking about that, isn't it?
What's that?
You had fun over there, college?
Oh yeah, it's great. I loved it. It was so good.
Yeah. But you still got to have fun, doesn't it? You don't want to be a professional runner when you're 15, 16, thinking like that. You should still be down the skate park having some fun with his mates. Stealing a couple
it'll be interesting
having
to
some
see.
$3
Hypothetical
schooners.
for Izzy, if let's say you ran 4 minutes for the 15 when you were 16, back in time, we're taking you back, and you're a bit of a phenomenal, what do you call him? Phenom.
I think my PB was 4:37.
Yeah. But let's say you...
4:45, I reckon.
A little bit up, that next level.
Hypothetical. Yeah.
You're going to go to college, or are you going to go pro?
I sort of want to go. I think college. Yeah. And even in hindsight, I think college. Yep. And even when I went to college, there was no NIL stuff. You were getting your uni paid for and getting a stipend so you could live, but you weren't getting, paid or having any chance of getting income. So that changes the game
fun
too.
Like that, right? I like living like a bit of a student is part of the deal.
Best years of your life.
Yeah, that's right. Shouldn't all be about money.
No.
Yeah. When it's...
I think the NIL stuff has killed college stuff, but that's a whole nother conversation. We haven't got enough time for that.
Isn't it good for it though? Because they can still get paid while they're at college, or not?
When I went to college, free tuition. You get paid to travel everywhere, free gear, many shoes as you need. Meals. We had athlete dining hall, everything. Just so well looked after. I still had money left over on my stipend to buy a Garmin watch or do social stuff. I felt bars. So well looked. Yeah, well, possibly. And if you made world uni games, my uni paid for that trip 1 year. I felt so well looked after, and I think just focusing on just running and getting a degree. I feel like now these kids have got so many different things to pull them in different directions. But I sound a bit old saying all that.
That's all right. We sound old every week. Moose, tell us New South Wales state champs.
New South Wales state champs, yep. So the winner in the 1500s, Archie Ridgway ran 3:53.9 to beat Stefan Music 3:51.84. In the ladies, Clara Dess, she's a good Anglesey girl actually. She ran 4:15 to beat Georgia Whincup 4:16. So that's a big result for Clara. Pretty good. And in the 800, Lachlan Raper ran 1:49 to beat Ben Jagger 1:50. And Jayla Hancock Cameron ran 2:03 to beat Ivy Boothroyd 2:05. So that's New South Wales state champs.
And those results.
Good results.
Yeah. Jayla Hancock Cameron, I feel, just runs between 2:02 and 2:06 every weekend of summer.
She ran a PB 2:01 last weekend against Claudia.
That's right. She was with her on the
really
top on the home straight, wasn't she?
Yeah, really good
Yeah,
run.
which is thereabouts. These results brought to you by Axel Coffee, because every great run starts with an even better coffee. Whispers Moose. This one might impact the person we got here as well, because before I knew she was on, I typed this in here. The Sydney Marathon Australian only prize money. There's a figure getting around, and from what I'm told, the big dog Australian marathoners are starting to talk about it and consider it as a September option for this year. You heard anything at your end?
Yeah, discussions are going on for sure.
People are planning
Everyone
their
is
springs.
talking now. World champ spots being given up. Berlin's out of the picture. Valencia is gone. We're going to Sydney. There's going to be a showdown in Sydney.
Because put it this way, this is what I was trying to explain to one of my people I may jog with. Appearance fee, prize money. You're probably going to go top 10 in the race as well, so more cash there. Then
Australian champs?
Hey?
Is it an Aussie champs?
Oh, yeah, it probably would be, but that's where that...
It has been.
Yeah, that's where that Australian-only prize money will maybe be coming in as well, though, from Athletes Australia, potentially. And the hype around it. You might also have something in your contract with, like, it's an ASICS race, so to, like, ASICS athletes get a bit of an extra bonus there at an ASICS race. Like, it could be a 6-digit day for the right person. And what follows on from that is... Like, no one in Australia is talking about, other than us, is talking about the World Champs Marathon that's going to happen at Tokyo at the World Championships. But every single run group in Australia, all those trendy run crews, every, like, general person that's interested in running in Australia is talking about Sydney Marathon. So if you're the top female or male at Sydney Marathon, when we're talking about brand Izzi Batt-Doyle before, I reckon it's a great brand move to be the first, because you know how the UK people, top English person, that's celebrated huge. Tokyo, top Japanese, top German at Berlin.
All the journalists out there covering the race,
who they ringing? They're ringing you.
There has to be on Channel 7 or Channel 9 or something, national telecast, and they've got to set up some motorbikes just for the Australian only. The first Australians.
Well, Wayne said it last week. He goes, "No, I want to make a big deal out of the, storytelling in the race, in the media leading up, coverage in the, focus in the coverage."
All right,
just keep an eye out for September.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It is a hard one, and, like, to be honest, I listened to the episode last week and was like, it got me thinking a bit more about it, and, like, yeah, it there's a lot on the line. I think that possibly though. There were some big numbers thrown around when Sinead and Brett did a couple of years ago in appearance fees, but I have a feeling that might not be the same case now, because they're putting that money into the top prize money for the Australians. And also that was when they were trying to get world major status. They now have that. So that it's not quite as necessary that they sort of lock people down and have these, like, heavy hitters like they needed to a couple of years. They really needed Sinead and Brett a couple of years ago to make it, I think, a credible race and, have that elite presence from Australia. But so I feel like potentially, like, the appearance fees, I don't even know, but I'm just speculating that might be not sort of so crazy. It's probably more just in, like, the top prize money there, but it still can be a massive day. And it's very hard. Like in any other job, would you say, like, oh yeah, take, work as hard as normal, but for 3 months, you don't get paid. That's essentially what you do for a World Champs Marathon spot. But it's the pride of running. Every time you get introduced, Moose, it's, you run for Australia at the 2019 Doha World Champs, and it's a massive deal. But at some stage, it's like, for someone like myself now, I'm thinking, okay, I've been to World Champs Marathon, horrible experience, worst race I've done. I've done 2 Olympics. I've been really fortunate to do quite a lot of Australian teams. Does another add to me as much as, not even just a financial standpoint, but what you said, all the exposure. And we're trying to, put ourselves as athletes, in more of the mainstream media and have a greater presence and elevate the sport. What better way to do it than at a major, at a home marathon? It's the reason why, Charlotte Purdy does London Marathon every year. Yeah. But yeah, a lot to think about. I've heard some, like, I haven't had any conversations for Sydney Marathon myself. And it's not really, it's something I'd consider, but at the stage I'm trying to run PBs on the track for the next couple of months at least and see where that puts me. But I'm not particularly interested in doing the marathon at World Champs, I have to say. And I felt like Leanne was, but I'm not sure about Jess. And obviously Jen's out with pregnancy. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what people do. I've heard a few whispers of who might be doing Sydney, but I've put myself in a bad position before mentioning people doing races, so I'll just shut my mouth now. And
who she talked to a lot, Brady? Someone within her training group.
No. Like
someone within her state.
It wasn't from the source. It was other whispers. So,
Stenson.
Yeah.
She's named Stenson.
I'm not. I haven't named anyone. I've not named anyone.
Okay.
All right. We'll follow up on that.
Yourself in trouble. The other bit of talking point I put in here, Moose, which I can see you've added to. I've been consuming a lot of running media lately, which is good. I'm not having a crack at anyone with this, but there's a trend, a bit of a starter pack when you're going to do like an Instagram little mini doco on yourself and you're going to like do a road to insert marathon here, Instagram like reel. They always look the same. Have you noticed this? First, you've got to be good looking. That's why you'll never see Moose and I in one of those docos, Izzy. Not that photogenic. Good on the mic, but not so good photogenic. You must be making a coffee at the start. So like you always got to answer a couple of questions while you're having a coffee. Your furniture looks beautiful. Like clearly you never have any kids like vomiting and stuff on your couch because like furniture looks like a display house. And then there's always footage of them. And this happens with the pros as well on YouTube. Like we're talking about Clayton Murphy before. There's always footage when they're driving to the workout. So like someone will videotape them explaining the workout in the car. Another bingo thing there is mention the process over the outcome goal. Color-coded kit always looks good. Your shoes are matching your singlet and your shorts and things like that. Moose, you put in here fit check. What's that mean?
What's that mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's like...
you check.
That's like show your kit off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
yeah,
like a bit of a longer range. No, not a long range. A bit of profile of like I got this.
That's less pro, more influencer. I feel there.
Same deal.
Spooties that retail for $400. That's also yours. Shirts with holes in them that are brand new. That's also yours. And then the other trend I see is usually they rinse themselves in the workout, and then when you check the race result, the workout's probably better than the actual workout. So I'm just thinking, just be more creative because it feels like that's a script that everyone just follows at the moment. And the value of a Road 2 show, because we did a Road 2 in 2017, and I feel like you want as much detail as possible for a Road 2 show. Don't just show us the beautiful Instagram reel that goes for 3 minutes. You want to go nitty gritty. That was just my observation of running content of the week. All looks the same.
I actually don't know what you're talking about here. I'm not sure exactly what videos you're referring to.
I've just been on the treadmill and I'm just watching all these mini because it's great that people are creating content, but there's just a clear script that people follow.
Yeah, okay.
Got to have a drink of coffee, got to be in the car. Mention community. Community is usually a big one too.
The same shit pops up with people that live in Bali and they're like, wake up, have a acai bowl, go to the gym, do some like yoga, go to the beach, have some fried rice or something. And you're like, what? Why am I watching this? And why have you made this? This is ridiculous.
Why are you watching this?
Algorithms.
I know.
I'm just getting running reels.
It's like day in the life of an entrepreneur living in Bali. Like that's literally the title of 50,000 videos out there.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing though. It's a template thing. And
which obviously is successful. That's why everyone does the same script.
Yeah, I guess so. But I thought you're getting into dangerous territory for a few reasons there, considering Izzy just told you that she's about to start making YouTube videos.
Nah, there was no coffee in yours, was there, Izzy? Maybe at the shop?
I can't remember actually. No, not in that one.
There won't be any more.
But I did make a day in the life reel on Instagram when I was at Falls Creek, and it did start with every morning starts with a coffee.
No,
but mine was like so like if you will go back and watch it, it's like I'm filming it on my phone. Like it's not.
This is more
like
sitting on
pretty
a
at
couch
all.
with your coffee and
it's not pretty at all.
You questions.
Yeah,
it's like, the last dance
Lucky
Michael
Brady
Jordan.
mentioned the.
I'll make notes. I'll make notes to put that in my next video though.
Yeah, just copy that script. I can see the trendy furniture in your background now. How's the bookshelf, Moose?
Nah, this is my parents' house. I'm moving out in 10 days, so I'll have secondhand
Do
couches.
all your filming there before you move out, because that's going to look
Going
good.
to take that piano with you?
Yeah. No, I don't think
Moose
so.
on the loose. What do you got, Moose?
I got a few here, so I'll roll through them. First up, Brady, you did an interview during the week on the road to Ballarat. Maybe it was last week, and you interviewed a triathlete on the show, and you he's a guy, he's never run a marathon before, and he's sort of said, "Oh, the goal is going to be to run 2:20 at Ballarat. I'll just pace it and finish it." And you said, "Oh wow, I've been trying to do that for ages. That's got some confidence doing that." And I listened to it, and I thought you were insanely respectful, considering that that's a very bold thing to say to a runner who's dedicated his life to trying to pepper the 2:20 mark. And so I thought, wow, you've actually, you've done well to compose yourself there. But then there's been two different Instagram reels I've seen where someone's chopped that footage up, or that audio, and made out like you're fully having a crack at him, and that that you don't respect what he's saying, and all this bullshit. They have stitched you up something shocking.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was poor form, because you were very respectful in that, and you've been made out to be disrespectful.
Yeah, a few people sent it to me, and they stitched up the bit, because I said I'd never heard of him because I don't follow triathlon, and then they've cut the bit where I've just said I've never heard of you, and then showed, and I was like, oh, you cut my sentence in half. You've taken it out of context, and now you're trying to take the piss out of me because I've said I've never heard of you. But anyway, that was paid content. We got paid to do that interview, and that's sometimes what you got to do.
I thought that was rough on you.
Yeah, people I picked up a few triathlete followers, but I don't I don't have beef with anyone. And then this guy tried to create beef with me because I didn't know who he was, and I'm like, I don't know who anyone.
There was more than one video. I found a random
Ballarat
video
Marathon
last
were posting it, and I'm just like, oh, I've done heaps to kind of promote your race over the years for free. I'd named it the Valencia of the South. I'm not an ambassador for that event. And then I was like, geez, guys, thanks for the kick in the guts there. Yeah. And I'm going to go out in 68 now.
Still hasn't run a marathon in under 2:20. So we'll wait and see that. We'll wait and see what the results say. I
did love that. Then he had to go out and run a marathon time trial to prove a point, which is one of the rarest things I've ever seen on.
But if we're taking Strava marathon times, and I've run 2:20.
Yeah, I've run 2:18, I think.
So
I'm a 2:13 man.
Yeah. I run a marathon time trial and stop at 42.2. She should have ran 42.5 and just got it legit. Yeah. But anyway,
as
interesting.
Allen Iverson said in that very famous interview, you're talking about practice? We don't care about practice. Let's talk about the game, the competition. We're not talking about practice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was very strange. It was a battle that I didn't realize. You know, when someone takes beef with you and you don't realize you got beef with them, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's calling me out. He's making reels on me. And I'm at school and people are sending it to me, and I'm like, oh, I've got 26, 12-year-olds I'm dealing with here. I can't be in Instagram beefs.
Got bigger problems.
I'm too old for this shit.
I think you looked. Anyway, we'll move on from that because I got a few of these here. So Jordo lost the fucking plot on Strava. Ran a half marathon in Vietnam. Comments: everyone had the course 150 meters long, worth about 30 seconds, I reckon. So not too bad running 70. He took 30 seconds of his time and claimed that as his time.
So you looked up certified course.
Certified course. They've gone out of their way. They've paid someone to come and measure the course. They've done it properly. All the good things they should do. And they've still got a bloke who's that high up in the running community and he's acting like that. Oh, I did not like that one bit. Didn't like it. Can't be doing that. What do you reckon, Izzy? You go off. You ever had your GPS measure long and claim your distance? Your watch?
Nah, it's not okay. My mum she ran Tokyo Marathon. She's like, I got 44 kilometers. And I'm like, Mum, I'm sorry, but you ran 352. We can't cut off a kilometer because, this Strava went a bit wacky.
If anyone's getting that right, it's the Japanese too.
Yeah, that is to the T. So another one, come good. 2 things from the Sunday long run that that came out. So I'm not even going to claim these. because a lot of the time the good stuff comes out on Sundays. But the one guy new to running, he was like, gee, there's a lot of charlatans. And I thought, wow, that's a good word in the running world. So I believe that's like some sort of fake hero type, like someone who pretends to be an expert but isn't. It's like, notice a lot of those in the running world. And I thought, yeah, you're right. Our whole running industry is peppered with charlatans, and agreed that, like that. And then the next one, have a think about this. Brady, the AV season goes for 10 rounds.
Yep.
And, every year we're like, oh, it's hard to get people there, this, that. This was an idea, come from the long run. Make 5 classic cross-country races. One of them can be a relay. So take the classic, the Giles Park relay, have a Bandura. Maybe even have go back to the heritage, the 16K at Brimbank. Maybe have a shorter option if that's the case. And potentially one other classic cross-country race. Then outsource the road races to event companies and have them as fun runs where you can start to bring the rec runner and the AV crowd together and have it done properly. Like, let's say that 10K at Albert Park, mix that with Run Pre or Run the Pre or whatever it's called. You can combine those easily. Like, you don't need 2 10K races on the road around Albert Park. You can make that happen.
Would you go as far as to be like you have Run Melbourne and you just got a separate category? Like, where you cross the line there, you just get put up against the other AV registered runners.
Yeah, I don't like Run Melbourne as the example.
But like an established run, you just piggyback on that.
That's what I'm talking about, Run Pre.
No, you're kind of saying like merge them, aren't you?
Well, it is merging them, basically. But you don't need 10 rounds. That's why it's hard to get people there. You don't need 6 people
in your team either. You can do 4 or 5. It's hard to find 6.
Yeah, I think that the state organisations do sort of get it a bit wrong in the sense they could condense it more into. Well, we're seeing that here in SA. We've had a lot of different cross-country winter stuff on the calendar, and they're actually doing the state 10K at the McLaren Vale.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Yep.
10K.
Oh yeah.
So there was always a 10K at McLaren Vale, but now they're making that the state road 10K, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
And we sort of talked about this for ages. Riley and I, why do you have a state 10K where you get 20 people in the men and 5 or 10 women, when you've got, a recreational, good event being put on. And so they are doing that here, which is good to see.
Yep.
Burnley Half Marathon's probably an example of that, Moose. Do it at Melbourne Half Marathon. Get 500 entries for AV people.
Get the entries. Nah, that makes it
too big.
It has to be a smaller to medium-sized race. It can't be one of the big ones because then you're going to run into all sorts of issues. But Burnley, that's one I would outsource to a company, come in, put a bigger event on, make it a rec race as well. You could do that. You get enough numbers. Like, everyone wants to run a half marathon 5 weeks out from Melbourne Marathon. It's perfect. It's an opportunity.
Yeah. But the big issue here is, why aren't they coming anyway? And it's probably the intimidation or the, I don't know what word I'm trying to use here, of elitism of not coming to an AV event.
That's what I mean.
If it's branded something different. Yeah.
It's branded different. It's put on like a festival rather than
it changes it.
Competitive race. Yeah.
The state level race. It's a bit scary. We're actually putting our first proper event on with Runners One. We're doing a 5K time trial at the Victoria Park track. We've got over 200 people registered already. It's 2 weeks away, but we've just released last week over the weekend that we're actually putting up prize money, $500, $250, $100 for first, second, and third, both men's and women's in the top race, and then the 3 other tiered races, $50 for the win for first female male, and that's got people talking. That's got some people entering. Some good people entering to actually go for that $500.
That's cool. That's awesome. You got a certified course there?
No, it's just it's not certified. We're going to have a timing sort of stuff out there, but it started with pretty small routes, but actually I just noticed when we put that prize money out, that's actually got people.
All right, listener question. This episode's listener question is proudly brought to you by Precision Fuel and Hydration. Take your nutrition to the next level. Check out the link in the show notes for their free online planner to nail your fueling and hydration strategy, or even book a one-on-one consultation. Visit precisionhydration.com.au. And it's an easy one. We're not going to be here for long because this episode's already gone for 2 hours. This is the question. Not sure who it comes by. Croaks didn't leave a name. All global medals. This could be from him, actually, Moose. All global medals of equal value. If not, rank Olympics, World Indoors, World Outdoors, World Cross Country, and World Road Running Championships from most prestigious to least prestigious. You been to all of them, Izzy, other than World Indoors?
Yeah, done them all, just not indoors.
You want to go first? You got a list there in front of you?
Yeah, you need to answer this.
Yeah, okay. I would say Olympics, obviously, number one. Second, I would say World Outdoors. Third, I would say World Cross Country. And then, to be honest, I'm not sure World Road Running or World Indoors. I'm going to say World Road Running if we're talking about the half marathon, because that's always it's the world half was always quite competitive. I'm not sure about the mile and the 5K. I didn't feel like they were quite as competitive in Riga as like the typical world half. So if we're going with World Road Running as the half marathon, then I'd say World Indoors. But I'm not sure about.
I was exactly the same order, and I had in brackets when it was World Half Marathon alone. Maybe it could have been higher. I feel like it's been watered down with the other two events. Maybe it could have been on the same par as World Cross. Maybe not though. It's probably in a good spot there in fourth of the 5.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's much argument there. That's pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
Except, like if you're going to keep it in that, I've got World Indoors well ahead of World Road Running Championships.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now with the way, and honestly, I'm not sure, like San Diego's been cancelled. They haven't announced a new city or a date for it. And I think that just the uncertainty will probably make it even go down a bit more, because you can't plan when you don't know now where it's going to be or what timing. You can't really plan for it. Like I was hoping to do San Diego in the half marathon, a week after the 5K at World Champs, ideally, maybe. But now it's like, don't know when it's going to be on. Probably won't do it.
Thanks to Precision Fuel and Hydration, Izzy relies on their products like the resealable 90-gram gel for her long runs, and plenty of elite athletes trust them too, including Olympians and ultra runners. Visit precisionhydration.com and use the code INSIDERUN2025 for 15% off your first order.
Yeah, so actually, when I last came on the podcast, I wasn't even a sponsored athlete from Precision. I've just used their products for like 18 months. And I think it was January I actually signed as a official ambassador. But yeah, very good products. And I think that's a testament to how good they are. Like I chose to use them, bought them, then got, a bit of free stuff over the years, and then have now been signed on as an ambassador. And I just think it's I actually look forward to taking those gels on my long runs.
Yeah, they say that in the
Get
interview.
one of those new products, the new release they got coming out.
The sort of chew long.
Andy talks about it. He talks about it in the interview.
Does he?
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I got an email saying we can't talk about it. All right, that's good.
Well, he's talking about it. He's the boss.
It's not supposed to come out till early April though.
Oh, right.
The
to be honest,
the interview with Andy isn't.
Oh.
So that's why he talks about it.
Andy's pretty laid back. I don't think he'll mind it. And you didn't really say the whole world. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Murray Plant meets this Saturday night. Scroll down and give me some winners here. This is deep. I was actually a bit worried about Murray Plant, the event, because I'd only really heard of that big name sprinter, the guy that won the world champs. The Olympic gold over 200 meters.
Tobago?
Yeah, I hadn't really heard about any other internationals, and I just thought they weren't coming. But they're here. We've got the miles very much Australian based. The men's mile I'm going to go through first. Pete Bowles 1500. Pete Bowles going to run a 1500. Lucas Cheers, that's going to be a good race for him, the youngster, to see how he goes there. You got Ollie Hall coming back. Cam Myers, the young king. Got to start favourite, doesn't he, Moose? Cam Myers?
He's my pick, that bloke.
Matthew Ramsden, first race in a while. Sam Ruthe, Adam Spencer, the Olympian and Australian champion. You got Jude Thomas, the prince who was promised. Sam Tanner from New Zealand. That's loaded. Jack Anstey as well. He's got a PB of 3:35 and runs some quick indoor miles. Who's going to win it, Moose? Give me just one name.
Cam Myers.
Izzy?
Oof, yeah, Cam. I gotta say Cam.
Yeah. I like the fact that he did that indoor stuff and he just went straight back to altitude, shaved his head again, and he'll come out here and go, this is why I'm not over racing. The 3K Moose, Izzi Batt-Doyle's there. We've got an Ethiopian who's run 8:43, Bellany, Jenny Blundell, Amy Bunnage, Rose Davies, Clara Dis, who you just spoke about, Cara Fee and Ryan, Getachew, another Ethiopian, Georgia Griffiths coming back from World Indoors, Amy Robertson, Nat Rule, there's a Japanese 9-minute runner there, Morty Skyring, and the American Taylor Werner. Whew, give me a winner, Moose.
Georgia Griffith.
Georgia. Yeah.
Going to be hard to beat there. Is Rose fit, is he?
I think so. Like, I think she'll think she's a bit underdone because she had 3 weeks off, but she's been back doing like full training. And I feel like she had a 3-week period of doing heaps of gym, heaps of elliptical. And in my opinion, that's a good stimulus to actually get better. So I think she could actually be better than she realizes.
Yep. 1,500 for women's. Sarah Billings back from World Indoors with Abby Caldwell. Linden Hall, same thing. Claudia Hollinsworth. There's a Japanese athlete, Kimura. Sophie O'Sullivan. She just ran 4 flat recently, I reckon. If I missed anyone there, that's going to be where the winners come from, aren't they? Eleanor Fulton, 4:03 PB. And the Ethiopian doesn't have a PB next to her name, Amari. So
yeah, that's hard
she's
to
coming
know.
all the way from Ethiopia. Expect quality.
Yeah.
Winner, Moose?
I'm going to say Linden Hall.
Yeah. Can't be
Yeah,
easy
I'm
travelling
going-
back from China 1 week and racing, can it?
Yeah.
It's got to impact you a bit.
No, but she is the experienced athlete here. And
True.
that's what I'm going with experience, and I'm going with class over everything. Like, I'm not to say the others aren't classy, but she's 356 lady. She's been around the block. She knows what's going on.
I'm going
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. I can't
Claudia
pick one.
Hollingsworth. If she's anywhere near the
Yeah.
front with 200 metres to go, it's her race. No one can
Yeah.
outkick her in the
She's
last
great.
150. The 5K
Very
men's, we got our boys in there, Moose. Seth O'Donnell. There was people wondering if he was going to get a run or not. He's there. Sam Parsons, the American. Tin Man's old guy. Jack Rayner, Kai Robinson. Rono from Kenya, who's run 13:16. Who else? This is pretty loaded here. A couple of Japanese who are low 13:20 guys. Brian Fay, 13:01. Sam Clifford, our boy from Tassie. Jack Bruce. James Hansen. Stuart McSwain. Josh Phillips. Good luck.
How do you leave Stewie McSwain to then? Like,
Mm.
Stewie got 12:56.
Oh, because I was just reading all the
Yeah.
names all over the place. There was no order about it. I'm sorry.
No, there wasn't at all.
I've only just seen this day, obviously, like anyone else, and I don't know. I don't have an inside word, but I was surprised Isaac Hayne not on this list. You know, Matt Clark's running.
Do you think he was left
Isaac
off?
applied to get in.
I don't know, but I think he's got about the same. Like he's run faster. I'm not sure. I know it's they have been hard to get into, and yeah, not sure. Just
Slowest
noticed that.
Thurston's
But I think
13:40, yeah.
The winner here, I reckon, is Kai, surely,
Kai.
Yep.
as like a top pick.
Jack Rayner's ran 13:06.
Yeah.
That's a bit of disrespect.
Oh
to
yeah,
your
sorry.
teammate.
I didn't even see his name.
Oh.
Nah, sorry. Jack. Yeah, Jack and Kai are my two.
You can't have two. You're going with
Oh,
Jack.
sorry.
I'm
All
going
right,
with
Jack.
Kai.
Jack. Nah.
And we'll
Jack.
have a slab on it.
I don't know.
Jack legit broke
Yeah,
13
tough.
minutes his last 5K race too.
Yeah. No, Jack.
Right, if you're anywhere
Jack
near
Hulihan.
Melbourne, get down and watch these people go around because this is a really, really good meet that's going to
Who's your
happen.
pick, Brady, in that?
I'm going to go with Jack. Hometown. Hasn't had to sit on a plane for 10 hours coming back from China. Yeah.
There.
I'm actually very interested to see how Ollie Hoare bounces back. Like for him to go to World Indoors
Yeah.
and not make a final and then watch his teammate get a bronze medal in the 3K.
Should fire
And he's
him up.
been pretty hard on himself, like publicly on his Instagram after a couple of indoor races. And he won this, didn't he, a couple of years ago? Remember he had the gold Oakleys on?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was a
There's
big
also
win.
the 10s on. Lauren Ryan and Holly Campbell are racing that. And then Grand Slam track starts the first week in April, the weekend after. If you're wondering why Jess Hull's not at Murray Plan, I'd say she'd go from China to Jamaica to do that.
Yes, that's right.
That's episode
Busy schedule.
386. Moose, what are you doing between now and next week?
Yeah, I'm popping up to Canberra. Going to pay Croaks a visit, actually. Thursday, Friday. Might do a session on Friday down around the river. Might go to Mulligan, see if he's awake.
Get out there. Do a treadmill session with him in the shed.
Just take it in turns.
Yeah, one on, one off.
Oh,
very good. You'll have some stories from the nation's capital next week. Izzy, you got a big race. Anything else special happening in your life?
Yeah, no, just Moray Plant Saturday, heading over to Melbourne Thursday. And then, next week, Riley and I move into our first house been living at home and got that Your Fastest Night in Town 5K event on the same day as our settlement day. So, busy week ahead.
Jeez, we're doing so well, too.
We've done well for 2 hours, 13 minutes. She just dropped out, but she was going to plug the race that she's Your Fastest 5K. That's what she said she's got.
She's going to think that you cut her off there, too.
That's what she's going to be doing. All right, Moose.
She's got a race coming up. I'm sure it's on the Runners One website. They got 200 people, prize money for first, second, third, male, female. No prize money, non-binary, but maybe next year. Not certified, but it's going to be a closed course road race.
I think it's actually sponsored by Lululemon as well, so we can get that plug in there. She never mentioned that because she's an ASICS girl.
I don't know about Lulu, but maybe.
Have a look.
That's amazing.
Lulu.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
having us, Brady and Moose.
Yeah.
Train hard, recover smart, perform better. Myo Fitness, trusted by elites like Jakob Ingebrigsten, Peter Bowl, and many AFL stars, offers sports massage and myotherapy to keep you moving at your best. Don't wait for an injury. Make recovery part of your training. Listeners can get $10 off their first treatment. Details in the Inside Running podcast bio. Myo Fitness is located in North Melbourne and Yarraville, Victoria. Book now at myofitness.com.au.